AFL Nation for Elders. Looking for an agent you can rely on? Trust the team at Elders Real Estate. And 4 and 20 pies. You can't have footy without a 4 and 20 pie.
What a lovely pie, me mates, a 4 and 20 pie.
You're listening to Crows Nation.
For Hyundai, find your next Hyundai at Wavell Hyundai.
And OTR. OTR has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7.
It is Crows Nation on AFL Nation. We are half an hour away from the opening bounce over in the West. It is West Coast up against Adelaide. No late changes to either team. You with Adam White and Josh Jenkins for the last game of the round. Still very important for Adelaide if they want that home final. If they want to finish top, they've got to keep winning, and they certainly get a good opportunity today against the West Coast Eagles, who have only had the one win for the year. But they are playing at home, so they are always dangerous when they're playing at home, and the Crows wouldn't want to take them lightly. Josh Jenkins, who played plenty of footy in an Adelaide Crows jumper, joins us today as part of the pre-game show for Toyota Land Cruiser drives us home. Oh, what a feeling, Toyota. Josh, welcome.
Whitey, good afternoon / evening. It'll be evening shortly anyway. So, you nailed it. It's just one of the games that we've seen a lot across the weekend. Just got to get the job done, whatever it looks like. If it is a big win, then that's even better. But you've just got to get the job done. You've got to get the 4 points, and you can ask the Brisbane Lions all about that. Everyone else has basically been able to get the job done. The Giants were comprehensive enough. They had some lapses in the game against the Roos, but what they had to do was win, and they did it. So they were able to get themselves just that little bit further away from the Dogs, who are in action at the moment. The second half has just started. They're up by 10 points. At the MCG against the D. So we'll keep an eye on that game because that's very important. If the Dogs lose that, they're in some big bother.
Well, they're done. They can't make it, the Dogs. They can't have any trip up between now and the end of the home and away season. Josh is our expert for Lumo Energy. Switch to 100% Australian-owned Lumo Energy. So just looking at the ladder to talk about the importance of today's game for the Crows, Josh. If Adelaide were to win, just win, they are a game clear on top of the ladder. If they win and win comfortably, they put further separation between themselves and the Cats when it potentially becomes a percentage situation of the difference between the Crows and the Cats. In a lot of ways, it doesn't really matter whether you finish first or second. In fact, it doesn't matter at all. But Collingwood and the Fremantle Dockers currently also on 60 points. But the good news is for the Crows is that they've got a 20-point percentage advantage over Collingwood and a 32% advantage over Fremantle. So with Brisbane losing that game yesterday at home to Sydney, it really does set up a wonderful opportunity for the Crows to lock in a top 2 spot well and truly before the end of the home and away season.
Yeah, any type of comprehensive win today basically guarantees them, because they've got Collingwood next week. Now we accept that that's going to be a more challenging game, but then they finish off with North Melbourne. And that's going to be a win. There's no world where I can see them losing that game. So a comprehensive win today all but assures them of a top 2 finish, which we know what that means. And I've been banging on about top 2 over top 4 for a lot of the back half of this season, especially for those interstate teams, for the importance, especially an Adelaide team that's emerged so quickly. It's come so far so quickly. I still think there might be a vulnerability on the road in a big final or even in a big moment. So why not make that big moment the last moment? Why not test that theory out at the end of the season on grand final day versus potentially going on the road, to the MCG and playing Collingwood or Geelong in a qualifying final, or the Brisbane Lions potentially in a home qualifying final. It's a 4 or 5 goal swing. That game being in Adelaide versus in Melbourne or in Brisbane or on the Gold Coast, that's a gigantic swing. So today does have a fair bit on the line for the Crows. It's hard for the players to engage in that. In fact, it's impossible for them to engage in that because that'd be shifting their focus on what they need to do. But the reality is, if they can win and win well today, which they should, they all but lock up the top 2.
Could you see this happening at the start of the home and away season, that Adelaide we'd be talking about this in mid-August as a team that could potentially be winning the minor premiership?
I had them as to finish 4th last year. I could see, and I got a bit gun shy this year, so I just had them in the bottom half of the 8 this year. But no doubt, this year for them had to be a jump. Now, whatever it looked like, it just had to be a jump up into the top 8. But they did finish 15th last year, so it's been a pretty seismic
massive
jump. But I think that 15th last year was almost an aberration in sense of the progress was clear and it had been fairly consistent and it had come from a long way, so it should have been consistent. Last year was a little bit of an aberration. A few things conspired against them. They had a few injuries to key players, so I think that was a bit of an aberration on the gradual improvement that we've seen, which in a way has been handy because they've been able to get that nice draw, that nice bunch of opponents to play against. And that's probably what's been, what's really allowed them to just build in confidence and allow their system to grow because they've been coming up against inferior opposition. And when you do that, you build so much confidence because you see your system improve, you see individuals improve. And the other element is there's no doubt the recruits this year have just added so much depth and poise and composure. And, those guys coming, Peatling and Neil Bullen, they've all played 7 out of 10 every week. So the guys that were in that role were 1 week 3 out of 10, 1 week maybe 7 out of 10. These guys are 7 out of 10 every week. They might not have a 9.5 out of 10 in their kit bag, but you don't need a 9.5 out of 10. Leave that to Rankin and Dawson. These guys are rock solid every week.
I remember we talked about this. We did, I can only vaguely remember it, but we did the pre-season game, the Crows and the Lions, and we were talking about this very thing about... Yeah. We both said we hope that the Crows are rewarded for shrewd trading. So it wasn't about going and getting superstars. And we're talking a lot at the moment about De Koning going across to St Kilda or what will Butters do, what will Harley Reid do. But in the case of the Crows, they went and pinpointed particular players, particular role players that can give them more depth in the midfield, can thicken that group of what was 4 or 5 to 7 or 8. And that would be a way that they could move up the table. And by doing that, you have to be thoughtful. You have to be shrewd, as I mentioned. You have to be clever. But it's proven to be successful. And I think they do deserve to be rewarded when they do that sort of thing at the trade table.
No doubt about it. And the shrewdness for me comes... You can do it in 2 different ways. Shrewd in terms of your free agents. So that might cost you financially more than ideally you think they're worth on the sort of more general market, or if they're in your club, you think they probably cost you a couple of $100,000 less. But that's the premium we place on going to get these guys effectively for free when it comes to draft capital, trade capital. So that's why it's very, very handy. And identifying the need. Adelaide have needed to move from a really pedestrian, quite slow vanilla midfield to a really dynamic running group. And they are now a really dynamic running team. And when they're playing incredibly well, particularly at Adelaide Oval, we've seen them run teams off the park. So that's the part of their game that has improved so much. Keys and Neil Bullen ahead of the footy, just the worker bees up and back, keep the team connected in offense and defense. Rankin and these guys who have got the genuine electricity in the way they move, and that midfield has evolved so far from Laird and Crouch and maybe a Berry or a Schoenberg trying to be that third wheel. Now you've got real versatility. Peatling's the one who can play on an opposition gun and do the job there if you need him to, and the others can all run. Even having left footers in the mix just makes it a different blend of midfield for them. So they've been able to build out that midfield. Their flankers are involved. Miller has had a career best season. He's been really, really good off half-back. Laird's gone to half-back and been rock solid, and that allows their big forwards to get involved on the back of some great ball movement.
All right, let's go through some of our categories ahead of the game, which is only 21 minutes away. What about a big moment for budget car rental? Get on the road faster. Call 132727.
Well, I think Rolly Thilthorpe can probably lock up. I wouldn't have it as clear cut, but it seems to me that he can lock up that second spot in the All-Australian team with a big performance today. Aaron Norton I haven't checked the stats, but he's definitely kicked a goal or two at the MCG. He's not far away. He's certainly charging home hard. And now the discussion around Norton's first half of the season is fair, but it's null and void if you're not going to take into consideration the same thing for a Brodie Grundy, who didn't do much in the front part of the season as well. So Norton's in the mix. I think Georgiades should be in the mix / in the squad, but if Thilthorpe can have a big game today, you'd imagine more targets inside 50 without Tex in the team. Fogarty's an interesting one. I just don't reckon he's going as well.
No, I agree. And we'll find out whether that's just because there's too many to share the load or whether he's out of form, because today without Walker there he gets a chance.
He got a really heavy knock to the shoulder about round 8 because he was going beautifully. And he got a massive knock to the shoulder in round 7 or 8. And I just don't know that he's had the confidence in that shoulder since. Now, it's been a long time, so you might say, well, hang on, he's surely recovered by now. But it's all about what you can't do so that you can play. It's all about the weights you can't lift because it's too sore. It's all about the training drills you have to miss, which all then results in just small losses on the field on Saturdays and Sundays. And I reckon that's what we've seen with him. So I hope he is fit and healthy, and I hope he can play well today. But those two big boys certainly are the two players I'm most looking forward to today.
All right, just whizzing through some of our other categories. A hot or cold play you're looking out for today for Panasonic air conditioning. Panasonic Comfort Cloud, set your air conditioning from your phone.
Jordan Dawson being red hot. Opportunity to perhaps move a little closer or extend his lead in the Brownlow.
Yes, fair enough too. What would be your trial move for the game for CMAX? Join a paid clinical trial at CMAX and help advance the future of healthcare.
I'd like to see Curtin play midfield, as in inside mid. I reckon he's ready to go. I'd play him inside mid, particularly today, and see how he goes and be open to leaving him in there for the rest of the season.
Join a paid clinical trial at CMAX. That would probably complete the set of him playing almost every single position. But I mean, the improvement of him has been extraordinary. And I was over at Adelaide Oval last week for the game against Hawthorn, and some of the things that he did, you just go, wow, this is pretty impressive.
The size is... He's in that unicorn category because of his size. The reason I think he could be a great midfielder, you can't tackle him because he's too big. Against midfielders, you can't tackle a Tom Green. This guy towers over Tom Green. When he tackles you, and he's a pretty good tackler, that's it. It's all over. He's just tackling guys that are 20 kilos lighter, 5 or 6 inches shorter. He's got that aerial power wherever he plays on the ground, and he's a pretty good decision maker with ball in hand. So I'd love to see him play inside mid today.
That's good. And these are the games you can try these sorts of things. Who are you looking out for today as the best defender? Murray Pest Control play pests at their own game with the team from Murray's.
I think, speaking of Murray's, Nick Murray's the one who they love him. Adelaide love him. They think he's going to be a star. I haven't yet seen the movement on the ground. I know he's had an ACL and some significant injuries. He's the one, if he's going to be as good as they say, I want to see him improve at ground level, ball in hand, taking intercept marks, because the other guys are going beautifully back there.
Okay, so that's some of our categories for today's game. 17 minutes away from the opening bounce. Before we take a break and get ourselves ready here from the game in the West at Optus Stadium between the Eagles and the Crows, tell us what's happening at the MCG, Josh, because you've got the best view of the TV, and it looks like Melbourne's making a bit of a run.
Yeah, they are. So this is interesting. 7-11-53 the Dogs, 6-7-43 the D. So back to 10 points. Dogs have been pretty wasteful. They've kicked 7 goals, 11 as I mentioned. Norton's kicked 4. Ooh. So talking about that All-Australian push, he is red hot. Fritsch has kicked a couple and then singles to the rest.
So Jeremy Cameron 79, Ben King 57, Georgiades 53, Gunston 53, and then now Norton goes to 54.
Wow.
Who would you take out of Norton or King?
For a game or for the All-Australian team?
For the All-Australian team.
Oh, I'd like to reward the consistency of Ben King, but Norton is coming with a rush. It's hard to ignore that recency bias, isn't it?
Yes, but again, we were talking before about where Brodie Grundy's come from. What Norton's been able to do. I mean, we were talking about him. Did he need to go back to the VFL? Did he need to go and play in defence? All these sorts of questions were being asked because he was hopelessly out of form, and now we're talking about him as an All-Australian.
I remember calling a game earlier at Marvel Stadium this year where Buku Kamas was the sub in that game, came on and kicked a couple of goals, and I thought to myself, well, I said it on the call, if this comes down to Karmas versus Norton, it has to be Karmas in the team. That's where it was at.
That's right.
It sounds completely mad to say it
but
now.
it was.
But that's
It was absolutely
that's where it was at. So his turnaround in form has been gigantic.
All right, and the earlier game today, if you've missed it, you've been out having a beautiful lunch in the nice weather. It was the Giants 2013 133 over North Melbourne 12-7 79. The goal kickers for the Giants: Brown kicked 5, Cadman 4. Aaron Cadman's another player that's just coming from the clouds. Toby Green kicked 3 on return, 3 goals, 3 and 23 disposals for the Giants skipper. Stringer also kicked 3 before being subbed out. Jack Darling and Trenbar on debut both got 3 for North Melbourne. Cooper Harvey got a couple. So that's the earlier game. That's the game that's currently underway at the moment between the Demons and the Dogs, and the game that you're all looking forward to as Adelaide fans. It's the Crows and the Eagles, and that will be next live on Crow Nation with Adam White and Josh Jenkins. Don't go anywhere. Back.
You're listening to Crows Nation
For Hyundai, find your next Hyundai at Wavell Hyundai.
and OTR. OTR has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7.
Ugh, that's enough to send shudders down anyone's spine. Did you know termites cause more damage to Adelaide and Australian homes each year than fire and flood combined? That's over $1 billion. But there's a simple solution. Start with visual termite inspection from SA's leading pest control specialists. Your team from Murray's.
No worries with the team from Murray's.
Go to murraypestcontrol.com.au.
Shot, Georgie.
Stay on him, Ashy.
Well done, Georgie.
Come on, Ashy.
Get him,
Go,
Georgie.
Ashy. Go, Ashy. Ashy, go faster. Go, girl.
Jeez. You know what's more competitive than those two? Hyundai's offers. Across a wide range of new and demonstrator models like the Dynamic Tucson. From $39,990 drive away, it's game on at your participating Hyundai dealer today. T's and C's and exclusions at hyundai.com.au.
This ad is about neighbours Ryan and Jack. Ryan's home has been affected by recent damp weather, with mould appearing all over his walls and ceiling. Meanwhile, Jack is relaxing in a mould-free home. That's because Jack installed a Panasonic air conditioner with 24-hour Nano EX air purification and mould-inhibiting technology. Jack's Panasonic air conditioner means he enjoys clean, fresh air in a mould-free environment. And you can too. Search for Panasonic Air online to request a free quote today.
An Australian-owned energy company that supports South Australian small businesses, the arts and local communities. We're Lumo Energy South Australia. Join today for a brighter SA. Lumo Energy SA not available in all areas. Eligibility criteria and conditions apply.
At Australian Outdoor Living, we've spent 20 years bringing backyard dreams to life. Now we're celebrating with 20% off outdoor blinds for a limited time only. Join the party. Book your free measuring quote today.
Australia, the wait is over. AC/DC are back. Power up at the BP Adelaide Grand Final, Sunday, November 30. One of the world's greatest rock bands, AC/DC, with special guests Amel and the Sniffers. Limited premium concert viewing tickets into areas A and B still available. All tickets include access to the BP Adelaide Grand Final on Sunday. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Just 3 rounds remain before finals, and this week's Metricon AFL record is all about the birthdays.
Marvel Stadium turns 25, AFLW turns 10, and we join in the celebrations.
Steel Sidebottom plays his 350th game, and we pay tribute to the Collingwood champ.
And we examine the fallout at Melbourne after parting ways with Premiership coach Simon Goodwin.
With Macca's 24-page matchday section, grab your Metricon AFL record Round 22 edition.
On sale at all grounds for just $6 or via aflrecord.com.au.
We have a downed spacecraft.
On August 13, the 2-episode premiere of FX's Alien Earth.
This ship collected specimens from other worlds.
Invasive species. Predatory.
From creator Noah Hawley and executive producer Ridley Scott.
If we don't lock them down, it will be too late.
What did you do?
FX's Alien Earth premieres August 13, only on Disney+.
All right, I'm going to the bar. We'll be back in a tick.
Seriously? They just bounced the ball, mate. Wait till quarter time.
Won't be long this time. Oh, come on. Hurry up. So many people. Oh, what? What did I miss? Who scored?
Spending more time queuing for drinks than watching the game? You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
You're listening to Crows Nation.
For Hyundai, find your next Hyundai at Wavell Hyundai.
And OTR. OTR has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7.
And welcome back to Crow Nation, the first quarter not too far away here from Optus Stadium in Perth. The Crows already out on the ground, the West Coast Eagles just starting to make their way out now. We are thanks to Stillwell Hyundai Wavell and also OTR Sea Coffee, barrister made at OTR. Adam White and Josh Jenkins with you. The Demons have got within 8 points halfway through the third quarter at the MCG. The Bulldogs 8-11-59, Melbourne 7-9-51.
So that, just to clarify, I don't follow the ladder as closely as perhaps I should. A Dogs loss here is season done. Officially, mathematically done. Wow.
Yep. They can't make it.
Wow,
So-
wouldn't that be flattening for the last couple of weeks of the season?
Yeah, so, and that, I mean, well, that's exactly right. We've been bemoaning the fact it's been a top 9, but it will become a top 8 because as it stands at the moment, no, that's actually not true. That's not true. It's not.
It's not quite as dire as that?
No, it's not. The Giants, Hawthorn or Gold Coast would have to drop a game. So
Okay.
no, it'd still be possible, but becoming unlikely. Where they've got a saving grace is that their percentage is pretty good.
Yeah.
But
They've just got to get it done. They've got an 8-point lead. They're at the MCG. Yeah, the D's look like they're up and about and playing some good footy, but there's so much on the line for the Dogs and almost nothing on the line for the D's. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
But if the Dogs can't beat Melbourne, kind of like they don't deserve to make it, really.
That's been my view all along. They are what they are.
Well, this is exactly right. I've heard you talk about this.
At what point do you become?
I've heard you talk about this. I know we're doing the West Coast Adelaide game. We're still 8 minutes away from the game getting underway. But this is the thing with the Bulldogs. Everyone talks about how good they are, but they didn't make the finals last year. And they're going to struggle to make it this year.
They never finished top 4.
Maybe they are what they are.
Maybe.
Just a good average team.
How many years worth of evidence would you
that's
like?
Right. It was 10 years since they won the premiership, but even that year they didn't do it from a high position on the ladder.
D's have got another, so it's a 2-point game at the G. Look out.
So there's obviously something that's not right with the Bulldogs. It can't just be the coaching. Maybe they just don't have a good enough team.
Maybe.
Okay, 7 minutes now. The countdown continues. Bright and sunny conditions here at Optus Stadium. What do you want to see from Adelaide in the first 5 to 10 minutes to know that they're on for a big one, Josh?
I think it won't be. Now, look, there's a chance they just come out and go end-to-end ball movement, completely dominate stoppage and really light the ground up. And they are a chance of doing that. It's a beautiful day in Perth. There's no excuse for not performing close enough to your absolute best. But, players are humans and they know they're expected to win. They probably know they're expected to win well. So even if it's a few repeat stoppages in their forward 50 early, a couple of big contests from some key players. Is it a Darcy Fogarty, splitting a pack open? Is it a James Peatling laying a great tackle on an opposition midfielder and a Tim Kelly or someone like that? It's that type of thing because the players know it's 18th versus first. They're expected to win and win well. So looking forward to seeing the way that the Crows approach it. We'll know pretty early. We'll know early what their mindset is. There aren't many players who are playing for their position in the team. I see the Sample team played a really good game.
Yep.
Some big numbers in the Sample as well. So that's the ultimate sign of a great team and a great squad. And Matt Crouch can't get back in this team. There are other guys in that team now, Curvis, who have played a lot of regular AFL footy. So you don't have any room to slip up. But there are only a few players in this team who probably have any type of vulnerability anyway.
Now, Josh, you've played at good teams. You're a member of the Crows. You mentioned that before when they were playing good footy. You've been at the Cats. Is there any feeling of self-preservation in these sorts of games where you go, I can't get injured in this one. We're getting towards the business end of the season. We've just got to get ourselves through and play bruise-free footy. Is that a real thing, or is that something we say from the outside that doesn't?
It probably is, but it's also true to say you put yourself at more risk by trying to protect yourself in a weird way. You actually, by taking the foot off the accelerator and whatever way, 5-10%, you actually put yourself at more risk. It does sound strange.
No, that's right.
As a forward, though, these are the days late in the season where you do lick your lips. I mean, Thilthorpe and Fogarty in particular, even Rankin down there probably want to isolate himself. Dawson will rest forward, I reckon, more today just to protect him from a low perspective. So those guys will be keen. It's more potentially the mids who aren't up for the fight on the day that leave themselves vulnerable. But I'd expect Adelaide to be a really professional team. Riley O'Brien only knows one way. He doesn't know how to play in third gear. So he'll get it started. I think Dawson will demand the best out of this group, and I think we'll see them play a good game of footy. Soligo doesn't have third gear or fourth gear either. He only has flat out. So I think we'll see them play well.
It feels like Soligo's lifted again. He was someone that I think at the start of the year everyone thought he was going to take that next step, and he kind of had that little bit of a lull. But what he's done over the last month shows that he's going pretty well. And I reckon a lot of that's got to do with Sam Berry playing some good footy in a similar sort of role when he's had the opportunity this year, which means that whole pressure from spots, it makes people better.
Yeah, it does. I think Berry's keeping Matt Crouch out of the team and will keep Matt Crouch out of the team. Berry's not a high possession player, but he's a really grunt midfielder. He loves to put pressure on the opposition. He loves to get in and under and play the game in that space. So it's a good, deep, versatile group of players. You know, they're getting so much from recycled players like Hinge and Keys. We know that they've got a heap of recycled players or players who have played elsewhere who are bringing great things to the group. So looking forward to the contest. Josh Worrell's probably another game or two away from playing himself into that All-Australian squad, and then who knows what can happen from there. So they've got it all before them. It's really exciting. Speaking to some of the guys around the club and those who live in Adelaide still, the town is buzzing. The town can sense it. The town have waited a long time for finals to be back on the horizon. They had it taken away from them with the Ben Keys goal review.
Yes.
So this is a long time coming. It's been a long time since the 2017 grand final and the 2017 prelim win in Adelaide. So the town is ready for this team to really take a massive leap in September.
So there are 8 players that have come from other clubs that are playing for the Crows today. So that's a pretty high number.
And all 8 have made them a lot better.
That's right. And of the players that you play with at the Crows, would Rory Laird be the only one that's playing today? No, notably with Walker missing.
I played with O'Brien and Fogarty.
Okay.
Yep. So Fogarty was a young emerging player who got drafted after the 2017 grand final. I think he was our first pick. Played in 2018 when Tex had a lot of injuries in that season. So played with Darcy, played a fair bit with Riley O'Brien when he took over from Sam Jacobs. And I think I played some footy with Chase Jones, who's a sub today. Yep. And I reckon that's as far as it goes. So it's been a big overhaul of the list. So I was actually talking to Rory Laird largely about NFL fantasy football this morning, but even he's rejuvenated, has gone from the midfield to half-back, has had to swallow his ego a little bit. But now it's all worth it, right? Getting moved positions is now all worth it because it might result in the ultimate glory when he didn't think that would be coming his way after, 3 or 4 or 5 years of finishes right near the bottom of the ladder.
We've had the toss of the coin. There's Fat Cat out there in the middle. Now, I don't know whether he's called Fat Cat anymore, whether he's allowed to be called Fat Cat, but he was when I was a kid, and I haven't seen him for about 40 years.
Didn't know he was still, the costume was still laying around.
Anyway, the Eagles have won the toss. They'll kick to the right. And the Crows, as a result, obviously, will kick to the left in the opening turn. We're just a minute away from the opening bounce around the grounds for Chemist Warehouse. The Doggies are in front. Melbourne did hit the front momentarily, but the Bulldogs 9-11-65 leading Melbourne, 9-9-63 with 4 minutes remaining before three-quarter time at the MCG. We'll keep a close eye on that because it does have ramifications for finals. Of course, last night's game between Port Adelaide and Fremantle. What a dramatic match that was.
Wow. Yeah, I was wanting to go to bed. And it started 8:10 local time on the East Coast, and I was wanting to go to bed, but you could not watch that. You couldn't turn your eyes away from the potential drama at stake when it comes to Fremantle. So thank heavens for a couple of their big guns getting the job late in the piece. And now it's Adelaide's turn we know they're going to play finals footy, but it's their turn to go and lock away a top 2 spot.
Absolutely. Bright sunny conditions in Perth. It's been a fair bit of rain in recent times, but bright sunny conditions. The ground's in great condition, which does make it ominous. It has this ominous feeling about it that the Crows have got the artillery to put up a bit of a cricket score today.
Oh, wow. Look at the size mismatch. Jinby on Dilthorpe. Now, Jinby will look at the size mismatch. He'll give everything Jinby, but I tell you what, fast supply and the big fella might go big.
All right, let's go. Opening bounce here in Perth. It is the Eagles up against the Crows, and it's McCarthy getting the first handball, but it's stolen by Peatling. Handballs to Laird. Laird gives the handball out to Rankin, who squares it wide to Curtin, who's at halfback for the Crows. Kicks down the line. O'Brien takes the mark. Handballs on to Neil Bullen. So the Crows already going inside 50. Stretching and not taking mark was Dawson. Crumbs to the Crows to Burgess. Snaps towards goal. Gets a very good bounce. Stays in the field of play for Keys, who kicks it backwards, but also kicks it straight to Bazzo of the Eagles. So he was on the scoreline. He did the right thing, Keys, by putting it back into a dangerous spot, but Bazzo was the beneficiary who took the mark.
Well, no, must have been paid not 15 because he definitely marked the footy. Curtin started on the wing, so I didn't quite get my wish there.
No, Stilthorpe got the snap out of the congestion, didn't really go anywhere. Keys is there. He gets tackled by Baker. Ball bobbling around about 20 metres out from the Crows' goal, and we'll have a throw-up. So apologies to Bazzo. Said I thought it was a mark, but not 15 according to the umpire.
It's hard to know these days, isn't it? Some go 12 and get paid, some go 18 and don't get paid.
Duggan for the Eagles clears out of that congestion, but it's coming back. Murray took it full-chested, hammers it long, but it's out to the right and out of bounds on the full from outside 50. Free kick, West Coast.
It's a light number here in the house at Optus Stadium. West Coast and Adelaide typically draws a pretty good crowd. It's a scattering of fans, but just shows just how far the Eagles have fallen.
Brock for the Eagles, out to half-back. Good tackle there from McCarthy on Peatling. And the ball's locked up and will be thrown up. The Eagles in their royal blue with blue shorts. And the Crows in their traditional strip with white shorts. O'Brien taps it down. Taken by Cumming, who was tagged, and it is holding the ball.
Got done for a throw there. Thought the Crows might have gone with their red away jumper. Maybe Vinny Del Bono, the head trainer, forgot to pack them. But it's. I mean, it's no major clash, but it's closer than red.
Well, Adelaide wears more different jumpers than I think any other team in the competition. Peatling on the wing gets a handball straight to Cripps of West Coast, who was immediately tackled, and the ball is locked up underneath some players and will be thrown up.
Liam Baker's role is one I'm going to track today for the Eagles. He's probably been settled down at half-back. He's had some prolific games and then other games where he can't get his hands on the ball, so he's still building in his new role at the Eagles.
Kelly got a handball to Flynn, rushes a kick towards half-forward. It's cut off there by Bond of the Crows. He gets it a couple of times. He actually chips it backwards to try and open up the play. It's now with Miller, who goes in short to Rankin. All the way, almost at full back, is Isaac. Spots a nice little spot-up kick, and it's again Bond, who's getting plenty of the footy early. He goes to Curtin, who marks true centre wing interchange gate side. Pumps a handball onto Neil Bullen. It's now coming to Burgess, back to Neil Bullen, runs around in a circle, evades the tackle. Defensive handball to Curtin. Curtin, a flat kick into the 50. Philthorpe got hands to it, couldn't mark. Jindy with the crumbs. Kicks to a dangerous spot into the corridor. Should be turned over here. The Crows have got plenty of numbers. Laird somehow shovels out a handball. He's lost it though in the end. The Eagles come up with it. Hewitt, good handball. Although Hoff wasn't great with a handball, but still works. They run in a wave here, the Eagles. Baker, Campbell's over the top to Hewitt. Inside 50 for the Eagles. Goes past Cripps. He's first there. Keeps it in the field of play. Centres it up. Good kick. Eagles will have a shot at goal. Chester the kick. And that was fast.
It was, yeah. It was exciting footy through the middle part of the ground. Was close enough to Adelaide being the ones to be able to get it inside 50 and a shot at goal. But it was good movement from West Coast. Yes, there were periods where it was on the ground and it was a little bit untidy, but all in all, they were running with great shape, running with great method, and they can hit the scoreboard first.
Campbell Chesser, a chance to kick the first goal of the afternoon from 40 metres, left of centre. Campbell Chesser does the rock. That gets the crowd up and about. First goal of the afternoon to the Eagles on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard. We've got 16 minutes remaining in this opening term. The Eagles a goal. Adelaide yet to score. Melbourne, they're scoring at the MCG.
Speaking of Melbourne, they're up by 10 points at the MCG. So one of the stories of the year unfolding there. Christian Petrarca able to get on the end of a kick inside 50 and run to the goal line and get the D's faithful up and about. But again, that was really nice end-to-end ball movement from West Coast. Jamie Cripps, who I believe is going to go around again next year. Some have been critical of that, but I think he adds a fair bit. He's quite steady. He does play the game the right way. So I can understand why a player like he is going around, more so than like an Elliot Yeo, who's got more upside, but he doesn't play wide.
Yes,
if you don't play, you're not much use.
Josh Jenkins for Lumo Energy, 100% Australian-owned. Back in the middle, the Eagles with the first goal of the afternoon. Perfect bounce to start things off again. O'Brien winning the tap down. Kelly gouges a kick forward for the Eagles. Laird coming off the square. Barges through from the centre circles inside 50. 3 Eagles fly against Thilthorpe. Gets to the back. Bit of a problem here for Brock. Got tackled to the ground, and he's able to at least neutralise the situation, and we'll have a throw up inside 50 for the Crows.
Just going to be a big task for Ginby up against Thilthorpe. He'd be giving away at least 10 centimetres. Fogarty's the other one who looks to get a good matchup.
Peatling got taken high from the stoppage. He tried to rush through, hit the contest with speed and momentum, and he got taken, almost took his head off.
He does. He is a player. This was a genuine free kick, no question about it, but he is a player that does like to stay low and use the arm to assist. Makes opposition players absolutely filthy, but that was definitely a free kick.
In he comes, James Peatling, 6 goals for the season so far. Will be kicking from 40 metres, just left of centre, leans back on it and splits the middle. So it's a goal apiece here at Optus Stadium. Still 15 minutes remaining in this opening term. James Peatling strikes first for the Crows on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard.
Good finish from him. Did the work, got the free kick, and it was definitely a free kick, no question about it. Jack Graham was complaining about it. He wasn't the offender, but he was complaining about it. But there's no queries there.
Tom Cole, who was the man that gave away the free kick, he knew it was wrong.
He knew, but good finish from Peatling. He started nicely. Set the three early disposals and that goal. He's also got a couple of clearances. So despite the fact he often does a defensive role, today he's getting after the footy thanks to Lodex Equipment Hire, your partner to grow.
A goal apiece after the first 5 minutes of action. Bright sunny conditions at Optus Stadium. Another good bounce in the middle. O'Brien winning the tap down. Wanted Dawson coming off the square. There's support. They'll come back to O'Brien. Gets tackled. Got a handball away. It's taken by Hoff. Handball was a bit iffy. They're in real trouble here, the Eagles, although they work it out okay in the end. Marrick got it out to Chesser. Spreads to the outer side.
Nice.
Burying a good one-on-one. Marks against Hewitt.
Proving, isn't he, Barry? He
Absolutely.
is improving. I've had my queries about him, but he's just getting better and better. Great tough inside mid.
Goes deep into the pocket again for Thilthorpe. Again, he had 3 fly against him. He's at least able to knock it out of bounds for a throw in 45 metres around from the Crows' goal. Ever since Sam Berry cut his hair, he actually moves and looks a bit like Scott Thompson.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he can have a career...
he can just be half as good as Scott Thompson.
Three-quarters the career that Scotty T had, he'll be doing well for himself.
O'Brien flicks it over the back. Dawson from the 50, winds up, goes long, it's a chance. Oh, it's more than a chance, it's a goal. Fantastic goal by the captain, Jordan Dawson. He kicked some special goals last week against the Hawks at critical moments in the game. And he's gone and unloaded from outside 50 and done it again for his Crows. That is a big moment for Budget Car Rental. Get on the road faster. Call 1327. Josh Jenkins, describe that one.
It was a beautiful finish. Just flushed it. Didn't really even have much runway there, but he didn't need any. He kicked it from 50.5 metres, and I think Thilthorpe was in great position to take the mark, but wisely decided to allow that ball to go through. So the captain, I tell you what, he is just flying. He's a rare midfielder these days who is more than his numbers. Most midfielders are all about, averaging close to 30 and 10 clearances. He can be low 20s and still be the best player on the ground.
Back in the middle we go again. Flynn winning the tap down. Chance here for the Eagles. It's Hall. He kicks it inside 50. Oh, low down. Not quite a mark taken on that occasion for the Crows for the Eagles by Shanahan. Hewitt in there. He lost it. Crows have it. Cumming gets well tackled. Should be hurried. All is. Shot at goal coming up here for the Eagles. Their energy is up.
Yeah, they are. They're up for it. They've had a couple of nice passages and nice pressure inside forward 50 there from Chesser. So it was Cumming was a little bit unlucky. I mean, he just feigned to give it handball and wisely tucked the ball back in, but as soon as he did, he was tackled. So prior opportunity gone. He was gone, and the Eagles can draw level.
Not sure who had Campbell Chesser kicking the Eagles' first 2 goals on their bingo cards. Same spot. Should be the same result, but it's not. He hangs it out to the right and he misses. Only a behind. The Eagles 1-1-7, Adelaide 2 straight 12. That is on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard. As Worrell brings the ball back into play. A bit lazy with the kick. Didn't get to Murray on the full. Now he's in trouble, Murray. It's turned over. Hand pulled from Brockman. Should be a goal coming up for the Eagles. Although only Davis knows why he didn't have a shot for goal and handballed into the square. The Crows can clear. Cumming takes the mark. Right half back. Kicks up towards the wing, outer side of the ground. It's ricocheted back the Eagles' way and out of bounds for a throw-in. What happened there, JJ? What was Davis doing?
Well, Nick Murray got himself into all sorts of bother to start with, and then in the end, it was no one wanted to have a shot. And I've got to imagine that the Eagles player didn't see Rory Laird in the goal square. It looked like a handball over the top to a player on his own.
Well, he's not very tall, Rory, so he can be missed sometimes. Here is Laird again, kicking towards the wing. Big pack of players at the drop. Kelly, handballs to Cole, to Chesser, back to Kelly. From halfway, Kelly's kick is good. Hoff has it now for the Eagles, front part of the square. That's when it starts to slow, and that's where he goes laterally to Duggan, front right corner of the square. Duggan to the 50, short pass is good. And the mark has been completed by Hall. 55 metres out from goal, right half forward.
Numbers back everywhere. I figured this is too far out, so he's just going to set it up.
He does set it up, but he sets it up
to a crow.
Straight to a crow. And that was the easiest of marks taken by Taylor, like he was wearing a West Coast Eagles jumper. Flares it out wide to Cumming and goes short to Berry between wing and half back, outer side of Perth Stadium. Flares it extremely wide in the Burgess direction. Could spoil over the top there from Brock. Getting it to the boundary, we will have a throw-in. 12 to play in the opening term. The Crows by 5 points, but not having it their own way on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard.
Around the grounds, 10-point lead to the D's, early stages, fourth quarter. So massive story beginning to emerge there.
Wonder what Simon Goodwin's thinking. Laird on hands and knees, farms out a handball to Peatling, gives the handball to Berry. He's just under pressure. Good work from Graham. He's won the ball, Graham. Kicks it back towards half forward, through a few sets of hands. Eagles still come up with it. Cripps handballs over the top to Hewitt. This should be a goal. The snap is a goal. And the Eagles are back in front. Terrific work there from Shanahan, finishing off the job from further up the field, a chain of handballs. And in the end, it was the youngster who just had to finish the good work, and he did.
Yeah, it was a good finish from him. Looks easy, but at 195, a young player, it was a classy finish, and there's a bit to like about Shanahan. And
yeah, I agree.
Archer Reed's another one I've got a lot of time for as a player. I like him in defence, to be honest, but They've played him at both ends of the ground. It was good pressure around the ball. Adelaide were absolutely in control of that footy. A fumble from Berry, and doesn't a fumble cost you at AFL level? He should have been able to take that ball. Yes, it was low, but he fumbled it, and then the pressure was coming in droves, and in the end it was Graham for the Eagles able to turn that ball over. They got the overlap, and Shanahan finished nicely. So this has been a good start to the game from both teams.
Eagles by a point, back in the middle. Phil Thorpe in the ruck, winning the tap down for the Crows. There's a whistle. It'll be an Adelaide free kick. Dawson was held off the ball. Gives the immediate handball to Hinge. Hinge storming through the middle, kicking deep inside 50. There's a grapple, a whistle, free kick, Adelaide. Fogarty.
Yeah, just a bit too strong there in the one-on-one, and you'd expect him to be too strong because he's played 7 or 8 years of AFL footy, and he's a big, powerful man. So it was a smart kick from Hinge, put it to his advantage, and it was worst case going to be a nice spill for the Crows small forwards. But Fogarty, who we talked about in the pre-game, should be able to get off to a nice start.
20 metres out, straight in front. Should be Adelaide's third goal. And you know what? He's missed it. He leaned back on the kick and missed to the right. 13 apiece.
36-14 he kicked on the year. So
he's almost too close.
Yeah, it was.
Which sounds silly, but he's someone that likes the long kick.
Well, he should be able to kick those too.
That's true. McCarthy for the Eagles. That works. Basso takes the mark. Defensive wing. Handballs it on. Oh, that's a terrible kick that's gone. Unfortunately, just pitched inside the line before going out. McCarthy puts up the hand and said, sorry. Luckily, it wasn't out on the full.
Well, he can't have meant it. 3 points. The difference at the G. The D's still ahead. The Dogs are going inside forward 50. But a couple of signs here early from the Eagles that this might be a more competitive game for a lot longer than we thought.
Yeah, definitely. Kelly gets a handball to Hewitt. Got tackled, but still was able to get a handball away to Hall. He's tackled by Filthorpe. We'll have a throw up on the wing. Crow Nation, thanks to Stillwell Hyundai Wayville and also OTR. Sea Coffee, barista made at OTR. There's a whistle and a free kick from the stoppage from the ruck contest. It'll be the West Coast Eagles free kick. Archer Reid. As Josh was saying, one of 2 likely talls that are emerging in the West Coast Eagles forward line. The ball goes inside that forward line. Mark dropped by Worrell, and as a result, Hewitt's able to lock it up for a throw-up 60 metres out from West Coast Eagles goal.
Just fell in love with Archer Reid as a defender the day in Bunbury when he played on Nick Larkey, and not only did he shut him out of the game, he was able to take intercept mark after intercept mark.
And nothing emerges from that initial stoppage. It's an interesting way, isn't it? The Eagles are trying to find where their stocks are, and I think he's one of them that could grow quite quickly. Hinge weaves through the traffic, gives the handball on to Berry. Again, the Crows are running in a wave, but they've lost control of the ball. Miller tags Jinby, who's tackled to the ground. Ball still loose. Baker, he jumps on it. Curtin jumps on him. We'll have a throw-up on the interchange gate wing. Still 13 apiece, halfway through the opening term. AFL Nation for Stillwell Hyundai Wayville. Kelly. Handballs to McCarthy. Got tackled. Still's able to get a handball away. Mopping up the mess there for the Crows was Saligo. Got tackled. He thought he should have got a free kick for a push in the back. Umpire says no. We'll have another throw up on the interchange gate wing.
Just some of the early numbers for Lodex Equipment Hire. Rory Laird has 7, Peatling 5, and Tim Kelly has 5 for the Eagles.
Curtin well tackled. Should be holding the ball here. It's not going to be. Davis pinning one arm. They're usually paid holding the ball because there's that other arm that should be able to drop the ball onto the boot. Phil Thorpe winning the tap down. Kelly gets well tackled by Dawson. We'll have another stoppage on the interchange gate wing.
Dogs have just taken the lead. Ed Richards with a clutch goal from outside 50. So ring-a-ding-ding at the MCG, that one.
Eagles go finally forward here from the stoppage. Worrell got tackled without the ball though by Cripps and will get a free kick. So Adelaide with the footy, defensive wing, 13 apiece, 8 minutes to play. On the Toolkit Depot scoreboard. Bullet on the bounce to Dawson, running the boundary. Kicking the ball inside 50. Up goes Pedler. Can't take the mark. Fogarty. Well tackled by Baker. Fogarty tried his best to shrug. Pedler got it again. Handballs to Neil Bullen. Spins out of one tackle. Can't get out of the second and third. Holding the ball.
Great pressure. You've got to tip your cap to the Eagles. This first 10 or 12 minutes of the quarter, they've been able to bring great pressure there. Immediate pressure, but also when the ball bobbles and gets into a little bit of space, they've still stuck to their guns. That's the part of the game that hasn't been there for them. Up over 200 when it comes to their pressure early in this one.
Baker for the Eagles. He's coughed it up now. Keane taking the defensive mark for Adelaide. Just defensive side of centre. Again on the interchange gate side of Perth Stadium. Back to a contest. Good mark. No contest. Flynn.
Improving play. Free
it's
kick.
been paid as a free kick against. That's unlucky.
Yeah,
that was a good mark. Dawson with a free kick. You don't want him. Putting it inside 50. Burgess flies. Can't mark. Fogarty got a handball away under pressure for the Crows. It comes unstuck. McCarthy got a handball. Now Berry with the tackle. It's going to be a throw up. It could have been a push in the back. It could have been holding the ball. And the umpire in the end went, we'll give it as a neutral. Trying to charge through Graham of the Eagles. Up towards the wing. It bounces on the AFL logo and bounces kindly for coming. Saligo handballs out now. Murray from the middle. Murray kicking inside 50. Pedler going back. Another whistle. Free kick to Pedler. He got taken high. It wasn't a lot in it in the marking contest. Another free kick against poor old Tom Cole.
Yeah, it didn't look a lot. It might have been innocuous, but that's all it needs to be. And this guy, he is one of the 2 or 3 playing for their spot in the team. He can't afford to play 2 bad games in a row. Otherwise, someone else will take his position in the team. We know Tex is not playing today, but he'll likely come back in for Burgess. So Pedler just has to keep playing well, which includes taking these type of chances.
30 metres out from goal, 45-degree angle right of centre. He jumps into it and he nails it. And the Crows have hit the front with 6 minutes to play in this opening term. On the Toolkit Depot scoreboard, Adelaide 3-1-19, West Coast Eagles 2-1-13.
Good finish from Pedler. Wasn't much in it. They're both going back in a difficult position. Pedler just had his eyes on the footy. Cole's arm was up around his neck, so even though it wasn't vicious contact, it was a free kick every day of the week. D's up by 2 points at the G. That is back and forth. We've had 4 or 5 lead swings already, so Troy Chaplin is getting a quick initiation into the pressures of AFL footy. But here at Optus Stadium, this is a good game. There's great pressure from both teams. The Crows haven't been off by that much. It's been more about the quality of the pressure and the intensity brought to the game by the Eagles. So good work to the Eagles. The question, though, Whitey, of course, is how long can they maintain this level of pressure? Because we know Adelaide can play this type of game for all 4 quarters.
Yeah, it's a good point. Another good bounce in the middle. Flynn winning the tap down, but it's sharked by Saligo. He's away and running. Kicking the ball inside 50. Stretching. Fogarty couldn't quite mark. He's able to get it at ground level on the left. Kicks it to full forward back. Straight to a West Coast Eagles player. Duggan marks it 20 metres out from Adelaide's goal and gets 50.
Sure. Keys was trying to move off the mark after being called to stand. They've got to tidy that up in the off-season.
Yep. And Greg Swan's actually already spoken about that the players try and push back to be outside the 5.
Yep, clean that up.
Duggan from just inside the centre square, out towards half forward, no mark. Neil Bullen gets well tackled. Umpire waves it on, and then it gets back into the congestion of the footy, and it will be thrown up.
Again, more great pressure from the Eagles, so they're in this game. This is a great start for them. They'll get their home fans behind them because the home fans want to get behind this young team. They just need to see more consistent energy and intensity.
Flynn, a handball to Kelly, knocked off the football leg, got a handball to Dawson, who weaves through the traffic. Gives a dinky little handball over the top. That'll work. Now Hinge. He's got 3 Eagles chasing him. Under pressure, retreated. Handball back to Miller, who then has to go even further back to Cumming, who kicks it to fullback. to Keane, and they reset.
That's a win as well for the Eagles.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
great pressure. 3 players getting after the ball carrier.
Miller now kicks it into the centre square to Saligo, but that frontal pressure was really evident there. Saligo, they might have players at the back as a result of being so aggressive with that frontal pressure. Neil Bullen chips it into the forward line. It's a good kick, and Keys takes the mark about 15 metres in from the boundary in the right forward pocket.
Just a professional outfit. Adelaide acknowledged and felt the pressure, so they do concede ground, but they do it so they can get an uncontested mark to Keane, and then that allows them to use the open side of the ground where the players are not really there. There's not as much traffic on the open side. They get 1, 2 long kicks and uncontested marks. Keys works back inside 50.
Ben Keys, a hop, skip and a jump, opens the angle, punches at it and slots it. Crows get just that little bit of a buffer in the latter stages of the opening term here at Optus Stadium in Perth. Adelaide 4-1-25, 12 points up on West Coast 2-1-13. And we've got 4 minutes remaining in the opening term on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard. Toolkit Depot's spend and get is on now.
Yeah, nice finish from Keys. It's a different set shot routine. He really likes to turn it into a running shot for goal. It was a beautiful kick from Saligo to Pedler, who had made space out the back. He was able to find Neil Bullen, who's always working up and back, and he found his hard-working half-forward brother in Benny Keys, and it was a good finish from him. So just a little bit of space now on the scoreboard at least, but doesn't mean the Eagles aren't bringing great pressure to the game. So it's been a really entertaining up-and-back game, this one. So Benny Keys with his 3rd disposal and first goal of the game, thanks to Lodex Equipment Hire.
He has a sit down on the bench in the middle again. O'Brien, good tap down to Dawson. He bounced it when he was tackled. The umpire said play on. Not sure how he gets away with that. Hewitt was great on the chase. Crows still have the football. Saligo handballs it out. Now gets it back, kicks it inside 50. That was outstanding from Saligo. Pedler's marked at 35 out from goal.
That's the part of Saligo's game that I reckon has improved. I still think he's got more scope physically. I still think he's got to really go to work on his body in the gym and his ability to run out games. But his ball use is improving. He could have easily blasted there. He saw the player in space in Pedler, and you think he should hit that player, but not all players do.
He's already got one, Luke Pedler. It's one of these players that's trying to lock in a spot before finals, and this will help because he's got 2 in the first term. He's such a beautiful shot for goal. That was never missing. And Adelaide now 18 points up. The Crows 5-1-31. The Eagles 2-1-13. Crow Nation, thanks to Stillwell Hyundai Wavell and also OTR. Sea Coffee, barista made at OTR. And the Bulldogs now 10 points up on Melbourne with 12 minutes to play at the MCG to keep their finals hopes alive.
I think it speaks to how prolific this Crows team is, because West Coast have been up for the fight. It's probably as intense as I've seen West Coast in any game this season, and the Crows have been able to put 5 on them. So it just speaks to how prolific and how potent this Crows team is. Still 3.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. It would be disappointing for an Eagles fan and from the Eagles' perspective if they do go in 6 or 7 goals down, but that's the level that Adelaide can take you to.
O'Brien winning the tap down. Peatling was tackled before he took possession of the football, so another free kick to Adelaide in the middle. Handballs to Miller, a charging past, forward of centre, long kick into the 50. Philthorpe got hands to it, spoils come away. Fogarty somehow grabs it, flings the handball back in the Philthorpe direction, knocked away from him. Oh, Graham's in trouble here, gone. Has to be Holly, the ball is. And Zach Taylor will have a free kick 20 metres out from goal, just left of centre. And it will be a 6th coming up, you'd think, here for the Crows.
Yeah, just a bit indecisive there, Graham. He wanted to make a second decision, and by the time he went to make that decision, he was gone. Taylor had him wrapped up, and in the end, he just succumbed to the tackle. So good work from Taylor. Another guy, so I've referenced 2 or 3, Pedler and Taylor, who are playing for their spot in the team. So this will help Taylor's cause immensely as well. 4-point lead to the Dogs at the G halfway through that last quarter.
Zach Taylor, in his 23rd game this afternoon, has 6 goals in his career from just 20 metres out. Oh, he's also put it out to the right. Very similar to what Fogarty did from a very similar spot. Fogarty probably a little bit closer in, but still only 20, 25 metres out. Should have done better. 5-2-32 Adelaide, West Coast 2-1-13.
Yeah, believe it or not, they've got 5 on the board and they've left the easiest 2
That's exactly right.
on the table, so it could really be a lot more damaging in terms of the scoreboard. They probably should be, well, in fact, they should be 7 straight, but they've left a couple out there, and Taylor will want that one back. When you go and put your head on the pillow tonight, when you fly all the way back to Adelaide after this game, that's one you want back.
The Eagles kick it around from one side of the ground to the other. They found Marek, who kicks to the wing, and they've got it to halfway, so this is good from the Eagles. The next kick's the important one. It's a long one to a contest. Laird didn't mark, but there is a whistle and is a...
I reckon it was a hold against
West Coast
Keane.
free kick.
Yeah, he was trying to protect... Keane was trying to protect Laird's back there, and in doing so just infringed against Archer Reid. Reid's got good size advantage against Keane, so might be able to use that today.
He pops it up to full forward. Wanted Shanahan, who was flying. Berry knocks it in the Laird direction. Dangerous kick. Turned it straight over. And Baker marks, sliding on his knees on his chest, 35 out from goal, directly in front.
Not a lot Laird could do about that. He was running in that direction, so he was going open side. He had to kick the ball in that direction, and it was the tackle pressure once again that caused the kick, so he couldn't get much more on it. He knows that it needed to go further and wider, but he just couldn't get any angle on that ball.
In he comes, Baker kicks the goal. That's a third for the Eagles. And they'll reduce the deficit back to 13 points. So Adelaide missing at one end, the Eagles getting it at the other. Adelaide 5-2-32, West Coast 3-1-19, a minute to play in the first term, and that is on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard. We haven't really had a mark of the day so far for McGain Real Estate. McGain Real Estate sold by McGain again.
I reckon Dan Curtin's the man for that. Dawson's looked potent in the air as well. Dilthorpe, I tell you what, they've defended him quite well. He's been outnumbered aerially in all of his opportunities. Fogarty's had that one-on-one where he got a free kick, but Dilthorpe has been 1 against 2, 1 against 3 every time he's gone near the ball.
And his 5th goal for the season, Liam Baker.
Yeah, I think they've got him settled behind the ball.
Yep.
But he's had some games where he's been really prolific, 25 plus, and then others where he's been struggling to get involved. So he's still finding his way in what would have been a difficult move from Richmond to a really struggling West Coast team.
O'Brien taps it down from the restart. It comes back to O'Brien. Got the handball to Saligo. Got tackled. Umpire says play on. He was able to get back to his feet. Got a handball to O'Brien, who kicks to centre half forward. Ball loose. West Coast footy to Hall. Handball put Marek under all sorts of pressure. Ricochets back to Baker. Caught on his left. He kicks down towards the outer wing. No mark taken. Miller for the Crows mops up. Gives the handball to Hinge. Goes one way, then the other. Darting run, and then a kick back towards the wing position. Wanted Peatling. Baker with the spoil. Good tackle applied by Neil Bullen on Duggan. He's able to get it to the boundary for a throw-in.
More good pressure, more good footy. Andrew McQualter coaching from down on the boundary today. We've seen him go up and down and coach from different areas of the ground. It's something coaches like to do. Some coaches are wedded to the box, some are wedded to the boundary, some like to move between both.
Dawson gets tackled by Hewitt. He wants holding the ball. The umpire says, no, I'm sorry, I can't give you that. Throw it in instead. 9 seconds to play before quarter time. Adelaide by 13 points. Melbourne back in front of the MCG.
It's an unbelievable ding-dong. Every time I turn my head to the right and check the score, it's changed. So incredible scenes at the G. And tell you what, we've got a good game of footy here too.
Yeah, we do. Marek getting a handball to McCarthy. Breaks the tackle, runs out of room and runs out of time. Quarter time here at Perth Stadium. Bright and sunny, and we've had a bright opening. Adelaide 5-2-32, West Coast 3-1-19. It is Coronation for Stillwell, Hyundai, Wayville, and OTR. Sea Coffee, barista made at OTR. Back with more after this.
That quarter on Crows Nation was for Toolkit Depot. Toolkit Depot stocks all the top trade brands.
In footy, you've got one guarantee each week. It's not the win or loss. It's not the coach's spray. And it's not the cry of... It's the 4 and 20 pie. That classic taste of 100% Australian meat in delicious gravy wrapped in golden pastry. Like coming back to win from 10 goals down. Nothing beats the aroma and taste of a 4 and 20 pie. There's a win in every bite. 4 and 20, Australia's original fan food.
For those who demand more from every acre, there's no compromise. There's Deutz Fahr. Engineered in Germany, built with more precision, more innovation, more comfort, and more performance from 62 to 336 horsepower. This is what premium feels like in the field. Now is the time to break new ground. The grass is greener with Deutz Fahr. Talk to your local dealer today.
Land Cruiser Prado Altitude didn't win 4x4 Magazine's 4x4 of the Year award by playing clean. It earned it in the dirt. With refined suspension and multi-terrain select monitor, it was built for all-round performance. So you can take on more.
This Land Cruiser drives
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
An Australian-owned energy company that supports South Australian small businesses, the arts and local communities. We're Lumo Energy South Australia. Join today for a brighter SA. Lumo Energy SA not available in all areas. Eligibility criteria and conditions apply.
Yes, IDD. Loud and proud. Turn it up. Yeah, that's it. Yes, I have hot chips and 6 middies for dinner. And yes, I kick on after kick to kick. Say yes to cheap trips so you can do more. Say yes, IDD.
We have a downed spacecraft.
On August 13, the 2-episode premiere of FX's Alien Earth.
This ship collected specimens from other worlds.
Invasive species. Predatory.
From creator Noah Hawley and executive producer Ridley Scott.
We don't lock them down, it will be too late.
What did you do?
FX's Alien Earth premieres August 13, only on Disney Plus.
Right from the very first bounce, this lineup has aced it today. They've been kicking with pinpoint accuracy.
When your business needs something delivered, don't risk it. Ace it. Darren and the team at Ace It Transport Solutions has a fleet of over 220 vehicles delivering South Australia-wide. Any size parcel, any pallet, any destination. Ace It Transport Solutions will handle your delivery safely. Book online in 3 simple steps. aceitransport.au. Don't just send it, ace it.
Dreading the cold and dreary winter evenings? Not anymore. Come home to your perfect environment with Panasonic Air Conditioning and Comfort Cloud. Panasonic's Comfort Cloud lets you set your air conditioning temperature from your phone anywhere, warming your house so it's perfect when you get back. Plus, minimise colds and flus with Panasonic's Nano X technology, actively inhibiting bacteria and viruses in your home. Come home to your perfect environment. Search Panasonic Air to request a free quote. Nano X not available on all models. Results are not instant.
Score a screamer of a deal at BWS. Get a case of Foster's Classic Lager cans for $49. Hurry, offer ends today. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
You're listening to Crows Nation.
For Hyundai, find your next Hyundai at Wavell Hyundai.
And OTR. OTR has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7.
Scotty T had, he'll be doing well for himself.
O'Brien flicks it over the back. Dawson from the 50, winds up, goes long, it's a chance. Oh, it's more than a chance, it's a goal. With that frontal pressure, Neil Bullen chips it into the forward line, it's a good kick. And Keys takes the mark. Ben Keys, a hop, skip and a jump, opens the angle, punches at it, and slots it. Now gets it back, kicks it inside 50. That was outstanding from Saligo. Pedler's marked at 35 out from goal. It's one of these players that's trying to lock in a spot before finals. And this will help. Welcome back to Optus Stadium in Perth. It is Adelaide 5-2-32 leading West Coast 3-1-19. And over at the MCG, the Bulldogs are 11 points up with 5 minutes to play. So they might be safe, but we have seen a lot of goals kicked in the second half. Here in Perth, the set of clearances, Adelaide 8, West Coast 1. That tells a pretty important tale.
And at least 2 or 3 free kicks from centre bounce as well, which was part of the issue. So West Coast will just need to tidy that up. In fact, free kicks were quite costly for them all over the ground. Certainly gave them Adelaide 3 or 4 shots at goal inside forward 50. Fogarty got one. Cook was able to receive one. Pedler got a free kick inside 50 as well. So they're going to have to get themselves in order in that space. Everything else for them is pretty good.
O'Brien wins the tap down, but it is going to be a West Coast clearance to McCarthy from the centre circles. He takes the Eagles inside 50. But what a mark it was to Worrell. If he didn't mark it, Keane would have, but Worrell didn't know that they were flying for the same ball. He kept his eyes on the footy and took a great defensive mark. He flares it towards the wing. That's also a good mark taken for the Eagles.
Looks good, McCarthy, doesn't he?
He does.
Just picked up from the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden, 10 weeks later, he just looks like he's played 100 AFL games. So he's been a great find for them. They've just got to keep finding players through the draft and through those different areas.
They go inside 50. It's a poor kick, though, in the end by the Eagles. And it's a defensive mark to Murray. In this goal square, the West Coast goal square, chips it into the back pocket to Worrell. Gets on his left foot and hammers it out towards the wing. O'Brien was the target. He couldn't complete the mark. At ground level, Baker gets the handball out. Again, they chain it up. McCarthy chipping it into the 50 for the Eagles. They're a bit of a chance where they were for a moment. Then they lost control of the footy. And the clearing kick is poor. And Flynn takes the mark for the Eagles, just forward of the wing.
I reckon he's improving, Flynn. He's been a slow burn for them, recruited across from GWS, but he's getting better and better with some continuity.
Well, there's a good mark for the Eagles. Shanahan's marked. He had 2 crows flying against him, one behind, one in front.
Yeah, close to
hands in the back.
Close. They've given away plenty of frees. Yeah, I'm probably surprised. Not a massive push, but probably surprised that the 2 hands in the back weren't penalised. But Shanahan's won as well alongside Archer Reid. If these two can develop, we know Oscar Allen's likely on the move. They can be their focal points inside forward 50.
Shanahan only 10 metres in from the boundary. It's out to the right. It's coming back. It's a good kick. He's got 2. So good start to the second term for the Eagles. West Coast 4-1-25. They've kicked the last 2. Adelaide 5-2-32, and that is on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard.
Yeah, nice work from the Eagles again. It was slow ball movement. Flynn took the nice intercept mark. I'd probably prefer to see that kick from Flynn go shorter so they can then go longer, but in the end he was fortunate, and they were fortunate to get a free kick, not to give away a free kick and to get a mark, and Shanahan finished that beautifully. It was a great shot for goal. So he's a young man with great size, 6'5". Looks like he's going to be a long-term prospect. Got to put some size on. He's still quite lean, but he's got long arms. He's an athletic player, so whether he can potentially be that chop-out ruck as well, I'm not sure, but he's a player for the future for them. He's got a couple already.
So we're back in the middle of Perth Stadium. West Coast hanging around here. O'Brien winning the tap down. Again, it's McCarthy, who is really showing a lot here. He gets tackled, got the handball away, and they said, holding the ball. Adelaide with it. Dawson, front part of the square, unloads again. Burgess tried to mark on his chest. Couldn't complete the mark, and the ball goes through from behind.
Had to mark Burgess. It was great penetration from Dawson. Even with Burgess, it might... we know he's going to rely on an injury, but even if there's an injury, do they have enough trust in him to bring him in as the third tall, or do they think if we lost one of our gun talls, we'd just play smaller? That's why he needs to play well.
Hoff for the Eagles, kicks up towards the wing to congestion. Laird swings it back inside 50 for Adelaide. Hoff dropped the mark, was able to get a handball away as he was on the turf. Miller got a handball to Cumming of Adelaide. High kick back into the 50. Thilthorpe is there, so is Foggy, who gave away a free kick. He tried to use the hands.
Yeah.
And Jimby will get the free kick.
They've held up well, these West Coast defenders. They're all undersized, but they've been good. I mean, Dilthorpe's had no real impact in the game at all. He's still only had the one disposal. So, and Fogarty definitely should have a goal to his name, but he doesn't.
He doesn't. The Eagles out towards the outer wing. That's not a great kick, and it's an Adelaide mark. Morrill chips it inboard. As the Crows get to halfway, Dawson in the centre circles.
I think
marks.
we'll see a fair bit of this stuff with the Crows trying to play a bit of tempo footy. Even defending with the ball is what some teams like to call this. You're forcing the other team to run and defend, and you're able to just kick the footy around, allow guys to get their hands on the ball and not have to work too hard.
From the logo, Dawson got a couple of times and then chips it up to Curtin, who marks between wing and half forward.
Goal at the G, 52 seconds remaining. The Dogs are up by 6 points.
We've had a few of these in the last couple of weeks. It's that 30-second drill, or in the case of St Kilda, a 7-second drill. The Eagles winning the ball back in defence. Dangerous kick into the corridor. Kelly didn't mark, and now Miller scoops up a handball to Soligo. His handball is intercepted. Charging through Duggan, his 200th game. Goes once and twice. Slaps it well. Now it's Graham from halfway. Kicking to the front part of the square. Brockman marks, got knocked out of his hand. Should be 50, isn't. Still able to flare it wide. And now Ryan will kick to fall forward. Once Graham, King coming in the other direction, knocks it out of play, and we'll have a throw in deep in the right forward pocket for West Coast.
Great system there from Adelaide. Keane was rolling around, not his direct opponent. Ryan had a teammate free in some space in the forward pocket, but Keane was able to roll around and assist, and that's why Adelaide's defensive profile is so good, because one-on-one they're vulnerable, but when they can help each other, the ball travels in the air, they get it done.
Throw in. O'Brien reaches over the top, wins it down to Curtin. Spirals the ball from inside defensive 50 to out. And the Crows mark through Fogarty. Little chipping inboard kick to Peatling, who flares it out towards the interchange gate side of the ground, and Cumming marks defensive wing, chips it on.
Nice
Good it was, wasn't it? And then Worrell just chips it further forward. Adelaide with the ball with Pedler, pokes it in the Thilthorpe direction. Jimby knocks him out of the way. According to the umpire.
Wow, they've paid the free kick, and Sam Darcy's taken one of the marks of the year to probably save the game for the Bulldogs.
That was like Nick Revolt at the SC
Jenkins. Mark from a young man. He has every tool you could ever have at your disposal, but that's an incredibly unlucky decision against Jimby. If anything, he made the body contact a little bit too early, and maybe he could have been more subtle. Dilthorpe certainly played up to the umpire and was able to win the free kick. So he's had a big season, Dilthorpe. 48 goals on the year. He's been really accurate, and he has emerged as a superstar of the competition.
Straight in front from 40 metres. Thilthorpe leans back on it as well, and that's the third easy miss from the Crows. So just at the moment, they're not unnerved, but they're nervy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they've missed They've taken plenty of chances. Keys' goal was a nice finish. Pedler's been pretty good, and Dawson's kicked a couple of beauties, but they've missed 3 or 4 really easy shots.
Yeah, they have. McCarthy runs into the field of play. Goes down the interchange gate side of the ground. Juggling mark completed by Flynn. Not paid, says the umpire. He was getting ready to kick the footy. Peatling scrubbing ball back to forward 50 for the Crows. That's where it breaks down, and the West Coast Eagles can clear successfully. Archery giving the handball to Marrick, running past. Defensive wing. Now forward of the wing. Cripps wants a free kick for a push-out. The umpire says no, so the mark stands to Murray. He's kicked it over Laird's head. This is a catastrophic here. Now it's Brockman chipping inside 50, and Chesser will have a third shot at goal. This time 30 metres out, maybe 25 metres out, directly in front.
I did reference Murray's game in the pre-game, and he hasn't won me over yet. He doesn't have to win me over, to be honest, but a nice intercept mark. He can be a bit wayward by foot. Now, I know the best defenders in the game are great interceptors, they're great defenders, and they're really solid distributors as well, and he's not yet that.
Campbell Chesser on the runway for his second goal, and it's close. Yeah, it's hitting the post.
He should have 3.
He should. He's got 1 goal, 2 instead. The Eagles 4-2-26. The Crows 5-4-34. 13 minutes remaining in the second term. That is on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard. Toolkit Depot spend and get is on now. They go down the middle. The Crows, it breaks down though. McCarthy again from inside the centre square. High kick, out wide. Brockman, good mark.
Shows a bit, Brockman. He's been pretty lively in this contest.
That's a McGain real estate mark of the day.
It is. He's been lively enough in this game. I've liked what he's been able to do. He's just got to continue to improve his distribution of the ball and make sure they all count. He's only had a few disposals, but they've all been in dangerous positions, and hopefully for the Eagles' sake, the crowd is engaged in the game.
Yes, they are.
They just need this young Eagles team to take their chances.
It's going to be a tough kick from just outside 50 at right half forward, but he wants to take the shot. He's kicked it out of bounds in the full. If it was a second set of goals, he would have missed that as well.
I was going to say the exact same thing. He would have missed a second set of goals as Jake Saligo just gets a double calf rub. I was never one for the calf rubs when I was playing. I wanted to sit there and drink some Gatorade, but he started the game well. Tom McCarthy's had the most disposals on the ground for Lodex Equipment Hire. Your partner to grow. Laird 11 for the Crows.
Ball thrown up. Probably give that to O'Brien. Neil Bullen and Hewitt wrestle for the same ball. Kelly got a handball out. Brockman kicks it inside 50. The ball beats everybody and trickles out of bounds for a throw, which isn't a bad result really for the Eagles, who are inside 50.
Sure.
Looking at the replay there.
It's a good decision from the umpire. I think
Murray did well to get the spoil in.
Both holding each other there, so probably a good result.
Trying to charge through again is Brockman. Oh, free kick coming up to Ryan for a high tackle. So another chance here for the Eagles. Liam Ryan winning strongly, winning low, in fairness to the Crows, but the Crows didn't also get low with the tackle.
Yeah, and that's fair and that's valid, and O'Brien was the offender, but I think on replay we might be less for free kick because he pick up the ball, then he just goes right down low. But O'Brien's got to do a better job, having said that, of players are going to go in low and try and draw a free kick. So you've got to do a better job of making a correct tackle.
Liam Ryan from 30 metres. Sneaks it in. And the Eagles get within 2. Game on here in Perth. Adelaide 5-4-34, West Coast 5-2-32 on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard. We weren't expecting this.
No, and it's good. This is what Adelaide needed and what we wanted. We want to see them under pressure. We want to see them really ask questions, and the only question I really have left for Adelaide is what does it look like with this young team who are, a lot of these guys are experiencing all these things for the first time. Yes, you've got players like Cumming and Peatling and certainly Neil Bullen and Laird who have played in finals and played in big games. Even Dawson's played in some big games, but the reality is a lot of the others haven't played in many meaningful games. And this is not a meaningful game in terms of win or go home, but it's a big spot. It's an environment where they should get the job done, and the Eagles crowd are up and about. So let's see what it looks like for the Crows.
Berry gets a handball to Peatling. He's under pressure from Graham. Kicks it away, but straight to Chesser of the Eagles. So the Eagles go forward again. It's a mark inside 50 to Brockman.
He's busy, isn't he?
He's going to kick on to full forward. Stretching and marking. That is brilliant. Shanahan again.
He's a talent, isn't he?
Now, I talked to Mark Duffield during the week on SEN after the Eagles played last week in Melbourne, and Shanahan just did a couple of things where you go, oh, that looks all right. That looks a bit better than normal.
I just like his movement.
Yeah.
We know the size is there at 195, but I really like his movement. Running laterally there, he's able to concentrate on the footy. Plenty of physical pressure. He still took the mark.
Shanahan here has a chance for his third goal and to put the West Coast Eagles in front from 25 metres. No, the big build-up.
Shapers.
And the shag just scrapes in from behind.
Yeah, that was a slice into the trees on the golf course.
It was. Milra runs into the field of play. Adelaide by a point. Halfway through the second term, he kicks to Thilthorpe, who marks it halfback. Oh, now he's kicked in the corridor. Went over his intended teammate. Miller in support. Handball to Hinge under pressure. They've lost it again, have they? No. Free kick to the Crows to Hinge.
They're feeling hard done by the locals. That was one where he was probably unlucky because Hinge was definitely going to take possession of the footy, so the tackle was laid, and in the end Hinge fumbled the ball, which meant he was tackled without the footy. So Soligo here just looking to get the ball inside their forward half. The Crows, they can't get the ball inside 50 in their second term.
No, and they've coughed it up here. Hoff from defensive 50 for the Eagles. Kick back to the wing position. Flynn marks over the top of Soligo. But you'd expect that.
Yes.
He still had to hold on. Chips it further forward. Wanted Kelly, Dawson over the top, giving away the free kick. So Kelly, wing position, interchange gate side. Little lateral ball into Bazzo, who kicks into the centre square. Hoff will flare it wide. So they've transferred play here successfully from one side to the other. And now it's the all-important next kick for Cole. Near the Toyota Cole logo. Takes a bounce, then kicks to the 50. A lot of players fall over, and it's a West Coast free kick. So Worrell was on the turf, so was Shanahan, and they all looked up. What happens?
That same contest, Keane at the back, Shanahan in the middle, and Worrell coming to the front. And Shanahan gave away what looked to be a shove, got away with it. On this occasion, Keane shoved Shanahan, who shoved Worrell, and he got the free kick. So remarkable set of circumstances. We can see those two contests within 5 minutes of each other.
So Shanahan, after his last kick, I'm not sure he's going to be able to kick it from here. It's not a bad looking effort. It's going to go very close. I think that's at the post. It always looked out to the left, but came back late, and it's locked up the scores. So you can hear the crowd. This is what I was saying before about Adelaide. It's kind of like this inferred pressure from the crowd is making Adelaide a little bit nervous.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, Crows fans listening on Crows Nation probably wanted and expected a 60-point win, but this is good too.
Yes. Kelly nearly marked the kick in, didn't do so. Phil Thorpe got a handball to Cumming under pressure, tumbles the football towards the wing. Keys coming hard at it, did well, socket off the ground, didn't know what was coming in the other direction, although it's mopped up by Hoff, who shows great speed. Takes the bounce, he's running too fast to kick it properly. On the bounce, he gets it to the 50. Burying in hard, there's Brockman. Kelly also hovering around. Adelaide come up with it, coming with a handball to Soligo, darting through traffic with the outside of his boot. Kicks it straight to Duggan.
Haven't seen this level of energy from the Eagles. I mean, some of it's sloppy, but their intensity, their ability to cover the ground. One thing I've thought about them a lot this year is they haven't been able to cover the ground, but today they are.
Duggan kicks it inside 50. Knocked off the footy was Gross. Adelaide get the ball back. Kick to the middle, but Hoff marks on his chest inside the centre circles. He's having a good quarter, Hoff. Chips it in short. Cripps has it now for the Eagles. Front part of the square. Marshalling the troops. Kicking it wide. Keane not holding on to the mark. Neil Bullen gives the handball to Thilthorpe. Gets through a tackle from a standing start pretty much. No momentum in the kick. Out towards the wing. Wanted Burgess. A lot of Eagles jumpers around the footy at the moment. Hewitt comes up with the ball. Handballs to Cole. Cole for the Eagles. Back into the 50. Thilthorpe playing as a defender. Did a very good job with the spoil. Berry gets tackled at the 50 for the Eagles and will have a throw up. It is 34 apiece. Crow Nation footy for Stillwell, Hyundai, Wayville, and also OTR Sea Coffee for Estimate at OTR. We've got a game on our hands here.
Yeah, we do. We're all squared away, but the contest and the pressure in the game is really ramped up. And this is West Coast. Now, Fogarty's going to get a free kick at half-back just to relieve a little bit of pressure. But West Coast have just lived in their forward half. It's 13-5 inside 50s in favour of the Eagles in the second quarter, thanks to Lodex Equipment Hire.
Fogarty, a long kick as you'd expect. Burgess dropped the mark he probably should have taken. Is first to recover, getting a handball to Dawson. Handball to Neil Bullen. Good tackle from Hewitt. Ragdolls him to the ground. Hall comes up with the ball for the Eagles. Handballs to Cole. Weaves through traffic. Gives a handball out into the region of Graham, who handballs on to Hewitt. Took it on the bounce. Rushes a kick back to the 50 for the Eagles. Going back with the fly. Shanahan juggles. It's been paid. Right half forward. Centering ball's a bit sloppy. And Phil Thorpe can intercept on the bounce with a handball to Hinge. Oh, they've coughed it up again, the Crows. Flynn over the top. Handball to Hewitt. Slips over at the critical moment. Handballs to Cripps. Tries to win himself a free kick. Coming in the other direction was Keane. Handballs on the cross. And now taken to the ground is Murray, a big tackle. And we'll have a throw up 20 metres out from the Eagles' goal.
This is sensational pressure, largely from West Coast. Adelaide are bringing some heat too, but the Eagles are bringing amazing pressure to this contest.
Hewitt tried to get a handball out of the congestion. Worrell got tackled. Holding the ball. It's called through. Holding the ball. Take the pick. Free kick to the Eagles. 25 out from goal. Directly in front against Josh Worrell. Who is it that's going to take the kick? Cripps. To put them in front, it's the veteran.
Yeah, it was a great tackle. He had Worrell's right arm, and Worrell was desperately trying to get rid of the footy, knowing that these days, if you've got one arm pinned and you don't dispose of that ball, you're gone. So perfect tackle from Cripps, and not a lot Worrell could do about it. This has to go through.
Jamie Cripps. In he comes in game number 270 to put the Eagles in front, and he does it. 4 minutes before half-time, and we haven't seen this level of football from the West Coast Eagles all season. And they lead by 6 points against the ladder leaders, Adelaide. West Coast 6-4-40. Adelaide 5-4-34. It is in Perth. But tell you what, if the Eagles hold on from here, it's clearly the upset of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. A team that's only won the one game. Admittedly, it was here against St Kilda, but this is a different level of opposition. And yeah, I mean, the Crows are here in pretty good shape. Tex Walker, basically the only player they've really left at home from a choice perspective, Laird back into the team. So yeah, this is interesting. This is building, and this is a game that Adelaide can't really afford to let slip from the top two perspective, but the Eagles are here and they mean business.
3 goals, 3-2 behinds in this term, and Kelly gets the clearance for the Eagles, tumbles it towards forward 50. Coming mopping up though for the Crows, flares it wide. Marek had to beat 2 and pretty much did so. Handball though missed Cole when he was lying on the turf. Cole applies a big tackle at the AFL logo and Peatley, and we'll have a throw up.
Just some of the numbers for Adelaide. It's not a high possession game, but just a few of their important players not really able to get their hands on the ball. Neil Bullen's only had the 6.
Dawson gets tackled holding the footy. The pressure around the ball from the Eagles.
Yep, Key's only the 4, has got a goal. Rankin's been nowhere, only 3 disposals in the game for Lodex Equipment Hire for Isaac Rankin.
Kelly into the middle, dangerous kick. Rankin almost did intercept, but didn't. Hoff is there, tackled by Neil Bullen. Ball loose in the middle. Neil Bullen applies a big tackle as well. The ball comes out, holding the ball.
Yeah,
he dived on it.
He did, yeah. And it was probably the good result because Rankin was about to pick it up in some space. So good result, professional free kick.
Neil Bullen into the 50. And Hoff has been paid in front with the mark. He has been everywhere in this term, Brady Hoff.
Yeah, he's been sensational. Crows big forwards just not getting it done. Haven't hit the scoreboard in terms of goals.
He comes out to Duggan. Duggan's wide kick to Ryan, who takes the mark.
Tim Kelly playing a big game, had 13 disposals. He's had a big quarter of foot. He's got 4 clearances as well.
Ryan chewing his gum as he kicks up towards the wing. Front and centre, Marek. Kicks to half forward, stretching. And marking is the old man Cripps again. Flynn's limping off. That's a big story for the Eagles. The kick into the middle. Oh, no, that was terrible. And Burgess takes the mark for the Crows. Just didn't need to do that. Kicking laterally into the centre square. Now Adelaide have the ball back at half-back, but again, they're retreating under pressure here.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's them using and feeling a bit of pressure. So just wanting to get some heat out of this game, take some air out of the balloon so they can just get the game back on their terms. So 3 or 4 pretty meaningless uncontested marks to go nowhere.
Yeah, Rory Laird, the last in that chain, kicking out to O'Brien, who marks on the wing.
Ruckman opposed to him because he's off injured.
Kicks towards half forward. He wanted Neil Bullen, but McCarthy in front will win himself a free kick for being in front. So the Eagles by 6 points. Coronation for Stillwell, Hyundai, Wayville, and OTR. Sea Coffee, barista made at OTR.
And Coronation is getting a little nervous.
Yes, absolutely. Such a surprise to see this pressure from the Eagles. Up towards half forward. Graham front and centre once the ball hit the turf. And the tackle came from Murray, and we'll have a throw up. Eagles by 6 points with Adam White and Josh Jenkins. Josh for Lumo Energy, 100% Australian owned. From the stoppage, West Coast had the ball. Graham from a standing start, kicks to centre half forward. Kelly up, getting a bad bounce was Davis for the Eagles, and Adelaide can mop it up and clear out wide. Dawson into the path of Berry, who was running back with a flight and took the mark on his chest. He kicks down the line. Burgess will mark next in the chain. Still well and truly defensive side of centre here, Adelaide, with 90 seconds to play before half-time. Burgess clears the initial pack, and just sitting back and marking for the Eagles is Ryan.
They must have gone behind the footy here, Ryan, because he was at the back of that pack at half-back, so
he did expect to take the mark.
Yeah, potentially just gone behind the ball. He's a good aerialist, so he's a pretty smart player to use behind the ball just for the last minute so they can go in at half-time in front.
He's chipped it short to Graham, and Graham's also gone short. Now they'll just hold possession. Ryan's got it again here. Chipping ball into the centre square. That works. And now the long kick from the centre circles. Inside 50. There's just a tug of the jumper from Shanahan. So a free kick to Adelaide. Have they got time? Short kick to Miller. Still at right half back for the Crows. West Coast by 6 points with 30 seconds to play. Miller goes short.
Didn't go far.
No, it didn't. Went to Berry, who then goes back to Miller. Miller a short to Laird. So they're not going to score again before half-time here, the Crows. They just don't want West Coast scoring. That's the mindset they're in at the moment. Laird hugging the boundary, kicking the Philthorpe direction. Jimby over the top, the extremo with the spoil. Berry applies a big tackle on Graham, which is great, but it's going to be the score at half-time with West Coast 6-4 to Adelaide 5-4. As the umpire throws it up, Kelly gets tackled, got a handball away, and listen to the crowd here. The noise. The Eagles were not expecting this. I don't think the players were expecting this, let alone the fans.
Well, it certainly wasn't.
West Coast 6-4-40. Adelaide 5-4-34 on the Toolkit Depot scoreboard. We're a bit shocked here on Coronation for Stillwell, Hyundai, Wayville and OTR. Sea Coffee, barista made at OTR. Just a couple of thoughts, Josh, before we take a break.
Well, I mean, you have to focus on West Coast because they've been able to bring a season best level of pressure. Now, I probably thought they'd really meander off into the end of the season and probably not have a lot to offer, but credit to them. On a beautiful day here in Perth, they've been able to bring their best. The crowd, albeit not nowhere near a full house, but they are up and about. The crowd are probably having their best day as well in Perth. So well done to the Eagles. For the Crows, this, again, I've said it a fair bit in the second quarter, this is a great challenge for them.
It's probably good for them in a way.
Exactly, provided they win.
Yes,
but who's going to stand up and be a leader aside from Dawson? So Tex is not there, so he's Fogarty, what's he going to do? Philthorpe, what's he going to do? Isaac Rankin has done nothing in the game. So these are the guys, because if you think about a prelim final, maybe on the road, maybe it's close late in the game, those are the guys who are going to have to stand up and be counted.
It is top versus bottom, and it is bottom on top. We've got the West Coast Eagles 6-4-40 leading Adelaide 5-4-34. You're listening to Coronation thanks to Stillwell Hyundai, Wayville, and also OTR, Sea Coffee, barista made at OTR. We'll take a break and come back with our halftime show right after this.
That quarter on Crows Nation was for Toolkit Depot. Toolkit Depot stocks all the top trade brands.
adventure starts here. As South Australia's largest independent Subaru dealer, Jarvis Subaru gives you more. More choice, more service, and more confidence every step of the way. With expert advice from a team that puts you first, you're in the best hands. Visit Jarvis Subaru in-store or online today, because every great journey begins with the right car. NVD 195878.
Toolkit Depot Trade Day is on this Thursday. For one day only, gear up on all the top trade brands. Plus, spend $250 store-wide, get $50 back in TKD bucks. The more you spend, the more you get back. Don't miss Trade Day this Thursday at Toolkit Depot. T's and C's apply.
Electricity, that's useful. Gas, that's also useful. Internet, that's always useful. Saving money when you bundle, that's even more useful. Simplifying customer service, that's super useful. An app that puts you in control, undoubtedly useful. Perks and rewards for being one of us, that's extra useful. A company that does all this and more, that's all kinds of useful. Origin, all kinds of useful.
Score a screamer of a deal at BWS. Get a bottle of Sheepdog Peanut Butter Whiskey for $52. Hurry, offer ends today. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
That's the sound of saying yes to another Spressi March with the girls and other fancy bevies like that. Say yes to cheap trips so you can do more. Say yes, Aditi.
Sudden cardiac arrest is a major cause of death in Australia. If you suspect cardiac arrest, call 000, request an ambulance and start CPR if needed. An automated external defibrillator, AED, can significantly improve survival. AEDs are easy to use with no training required. Simply follow the voice and visual prompts until help arrives. AEDs only shock if needed and you're protected by Good Samaritan laws. Visit aedauthority.com.au and use code AFLDEAL for exclusive AED offers. AED Authority. Be prepared. Be a lifesaver.
Knocking off early, are we? We know being on the tools since sunup ain't easy. At least you with CBus. We work hard to provide strong, long-term returns for when you knock off for the last time. CBus Super. Making hard work pay off. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance. Read the PDS and TMD to decide if CBus is right for you.
At Australian Outdoor Living, we've spent 20 years bringing backyard dreams to life. Now we're celebrating with 20% off roller shutters for a limited time only. Join the party. Book your free measuring quote today.
This ad is about neighbours Ryan and Jack. Ryan's home has been affected by recent damp weather, with mould appearing all over his walls and ceiling. Meanwhile, Jack is relaxing in a mould-free home. That's because Jack installed a Panasonic air conditioner with 24-hour Nano EX air purification and mould-inhibiting technology. Jack's Panasonic air conditioner means he enjoys clean, fresh air in a mould-free environment. And you can too. Search for Panasonic Air online to request a free quote today.
Land Cruiser Prado Altitude didn't win 4x4 Magazine's 4x4 of the Year award by playing clean. It earned it in the dirt. With refined suspension and multi-terrain select monitor, it was built for all-round performance. So you can take on more.
This Land Cruiser drives
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
You're listening to Crows Nation.
For Hyundai, find your next Hyundai at Wavell Hyundai.
And OTR. OTR has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7.
And welcome back to Crow Nation. We are ready for our halftime show for Pals next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road in Parafield Airport. We've got no highlights because Adelaide didn't kick a goal in that term. And we are here for Crow Nation. West Coast leading 40-34. Just going through the other games that have been played today. Nearly a big shock, certainly a big fright for the Western Bulldogs. They ended up winning by 6 points over Melbourne. The final score at the MCG, it was the Western Bulldogs 15-15, 105 over Melbourne 15-9, 109. Multiple goal kickers in that game. Norton kicked 5 for the Bulldogs. And then there was 2 each to Richards and Darcy. And then for Melbourne, 2 to Fritsch and also to Petty and to Melksham. In the early game, it was a big win to the Giants, as expected, over North Melbourne. It looked like it was going to be a very big margin there at one point. In the end, it was 2013, 133 to 12, 79. North Melbourne did kick 5 goals in the third term. Goals sort of spread. Brown did kick 5, Cadman 4 and Green 3. Stringer also kicked 3. So the Giants find themselves now, as a result of that victory, in 8th spot with 56 points, along with Hawthorn and Gold Coast. Brisbane 58, Fremantle with their win last night on 60. But all eyes now on this game here, because we've got a situation where the Eagles are leading Adelaide. As I said earlier, it is the bottom leading the top. And if it was that Adelaide were to go down in this game, we hope from a Crows point of view that doesn't happen, there will be 4 teams on equal top.
Wow.
With Brisbane 2 points behind, and that would mean that the Giants, Josh, would be 1 game off top in 8th.
Wow. It's a bizarre, and I think it's quite confusing season.
Yes, it is.
I was thinking about it last night when Brisbane went down, and I was thinking to myself, well, what is the season like? Are there a lot of good teams? Are there a lot of average teams? If there's a lot of average teams, can one team? What's the likelihood one team can make a run from outside the top 4? I mean, it's got to make it less likely. But
I think there are a lot of average teams.
So regardless, they're all even. So whether they're good or average doesn't matter. Yep. But if there are a lot of teams who are on a similar keel, I mean, it might seem like it's more likely for a team to go on a run and win it, like Brisbane did last year. But I think Brisbane just got back to their elite status at the right time. I think they're an elite team who were just underperforming for a long time in the first part of the year and then got going. But this year, it's hard to see a team being able to make a run. It feels like the home finals are going to be valuable and the second chances are going to be valuable because it is so even and so congested.
Yeah, it is hard to get your head around it, because every time you think you can make a definitive statement, the opposite happens.
Yeah.
And that's certainly been the case for me with Brisbane. I've been on Brisbane all year, and when they beat Collingwood the way they did, there you go. After what they'd done against Gold Coast, and they serve up what they did yesterday against the Sydney team, you go, well, where's that been all year?
That's right.
So it's one of those seasons. Josh is here for Lumo Energy. Switch to 100% Australian-owned Lumo Energy. It is Crows Nation for Hyundai. Find your next Hyundai at Morn Team Hyundai. Now, the best defenders of the first half of Murray Pest Control play pests. You'd also pay them if you want to at their own game with the team from Murray's.
One from each. I'll go. Liam Duggan's been good, taking the 7 marks behind the footy, and Josh Worrell 9 disposals and 6 marks. He's been rock solid behind the ball. Other than that, a lot of the defenders have had their hands full in this game. Jinby's been rock solid against Thilthorpe, hasn't done much in the game, so got to give some love to the former top 10 pick.
A big moment today for Budget Car Rental. Get on the road faster. Call 132727.
There's been a few. I mean, some of Shanahan's play ahead of the footy has been really big for the Eagles, and just their pressure overall, their pressure and intensity in the game has been huge, and there's been plenty of big moments. Now, they're untidy at different stages, and they turn a great turnover opportunity into a mistake of their own. But I tell you what, you've got to be pleased if you're an Eagles fan.
Absolutely. What about a trial move for C-Max? Join a paid clinical trial at C-Max.
Rankin's got to go around the ball. He's got to go around the ball to give this team some life, but also to give himself some life. So only 3 disposals in the game, 2 kicks and 1 handball. He's only laid 1 tackle. Only had the 1 clearance, hasn't hit the scoreboard at all. So Rankin around the footy is something I think needs to happen more often, regardless of how they're going. But because the game is up for grabs, he has to go and play some midfield.
Okay, join a paid clinical trial at C-Max. Who has been a hot or cold player today for Panasonic Air Conditioning, Panasonic Comfort Cloud? Set your air conditioning from your phone.
Well, from a positive perspective, Rory Laird back in after being managed. He's had an equal team best, 13 disposals for the Crows. And in terms of the cold players, I mentioned those forwards that just haven't been able to get involved in the game. Rankin only 3 disposals, Burgess only 5 disposals, and Dan Curtin is he opening the door again on the Rising Star? Because Levi Ashcroft had a big game yesterday in a loss, 27 disposals. It was all but done. Murphy Reid, handball of the season last night. The left-hand handball over the head for a big goal assist to Patrick Voss. So Curtin's been quiet, only 5 disposals in the game. So there are a few guys who have been cold and need to get going for their teams.
The mark of the first half for McGain Real Estate, sold by McGain again.
I can't really remember a big mark in the game. Shanahan's mark running across the ground
was pretty good.
It was a tricky mark to take, so we'll give him the nod there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the power play rankings for Red Energy switched to 100% Australian-owned Lumo Energy.
Dawson leads all comers with 60, Duggan on 52 and Hoff on 48. It's been a pretty low numbers game in terms of disposals and the rankings.
Okay, that was the halftime show for Pals. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road in Parafield Airport. And we're off to a sea coffee break thanks to OTR. OTR has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7. A break in the second half, not far away.
You're listening to Crows Nation.
For Hyundai, find your next Hyundai at Wavell Hyundai.
And OTR. OTR has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7.
The Big Arch has arrived at Macca's. 2 100% Aussie beef patties, 3 layers of cheese and tangy Big Arch sauce. It's big. New Big Arch for big Macca's hunger. Available after 10:30am.
Fully Australian-owned, Lumo Energy has won CanStar Blue's Most Satisfied Customers Electricity Providers essay for the second year running. Switch to Lumo to join thousands of happy customers enjoying great value energy plans and rewards. Lumo Energy. Join today for award-winningly great value. Lumo Energy not available in all areas. Eligibility criteria and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lumo Energy.
Dreading the cold and dreary winter evenings? Not anymore. Come home to your perfect environment with Panasonic Air Conditioning and Comfort Cloud. Panasonic's Comfort Cloud lets you set your air conditioning temperature from your phone anywhere, warming your house so it's perfect when you get back. Plus, minimise colds and flus with Panasonic's Nano X technology, actively inhibiting bacteria and viruses in your home. Come home to your perfect environment. Search Panasonic Air to request a free quote. Nano X not available on all models. Results are not instant.
For decades, Jarvis Used Cars has been helping you find the right car without the hassle. With hundreds of quality-checked vehicles and a team that puts you first, we make the process easy. And every car comes backed with our Jarvis Free Extras. That's a 3-year unlimited kilometre warranty, 3 years of fixed price servicing and more. Ready for a better car buying experience? Visit jarviscars.com.au today. MVD 2951.
When you're serious about getting the job done, you need a tractor that delivers day after day. Coyote gives you the features that matter. Reliable diesel power, smooth transmission, serious lift capacity, and comfort that lasts. And a standard 2-year, 1,500-hour warranty across the full range. Built tough, priced right, backed by local support. Coyote, just a bloody good tractor. Head to your nearest dealer today.
Let's have a quick chat about spiders.
Get away from me now.
Exactly. Well, we're not the biggest fans either. But that's okay because unlike you, spiders are our business. I'm Mel from Murray Pest Control and we've been solving spider issues for over 50 years. So put away the broom and slippers and leave it to us, okay? Give us a call or book online and we'll be round in a jiff. Spiders?
No worries.
We've got this.
With the team from Murray's.
MurrayPestControl.com.au.
Looking for your next fishing weapon? Bar Crusher is Australia's leading fishing boat builder. That's because Bar Crusher boats lead the industry in design excellence and quality to ensure they produce the most advanced plate aluminium fishing boats on the market. Get your ultimate fishing weapon in 2025. Find Bar Crusher boats at Pacific Marine and RV, 8 Tapleys Hill Road, Royal Park. Or build your dream boat online at barcrusher.com.au.
Come in now to your local Harley-Davidson dealership and we'll set you up with a deposit contribution on select Year 24 models. Don't wait for your freedom. Our deposit contribution for your new Harley is ready and waiting in dealerships today. You can ride away with serious savings and even more attitude. And with 24 months roadside and warranty as standard, it's time to ride. Offer ends soon. Terms and conditions apply. See your nearest Harley-Davidson dealer for full details.
At Australian Outdoor Living, we've spent 20 years bringing backyard dreams to life. Now we're celebrating with 20% off outdoor blinds for a limited time only. Join the party. Book your free measuring quote today.
You're listening to Crows Nation.
For Hyundai, find your next Hyundai at Wavell Hyundai.
And OTR. OTR has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7.
Okay, we're coming up to the third term here at Optus Stadium in Perth, and if you're an Adelaide Crow fan, and most of you that are listening are, there's some problems. The Eagles lead by 6 points at half-time, and we've just had almost like a parade of champions with McGovern, obviously retiring quite a while ago now. He's done his sort of lap of honour here. Dom Sheeds, another retiring Eagle premiership player, as is obviously McGovern. Dom Sheed, the hero. In a lot of ways, McGovern was the hero on the day as well. And I just wonder, Josh Jenkins, whether that sort of helped in the whole emotion of the day to get the Eagles up, because they're showing this passion that we haven't seen from them. And it's the pressure on the ball which has seen Adelaide not score a goal in this second term, whereas the Eagles have been able to go from 3 goals down to lead by 6 points at half-time.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at the numbers from a team perspective, there's not a lot of upside in the numbers for Adelaide. So they're +7 contested possession. They're 10-3 up from centre bounce, and we spoke about that at quarter time. It's 26-12 in the hitouts. You know, they've had one less inside 50, but they've had more of the footy overall. So normally you'd look at the numbers and say, oh, they're -15 contested ball, so they've got to get to work around the footy. Well, they're actually leading that stat. They've taken more marks in the game. So there's not a lot there. They're basically even Stevens for tackles inside 50, even the 1%ers, which is, you know, a whole bunch of little things that's champion data like to take into account. It's even. So from the team statistical point of view, there's no obvious area that Adelaide can lean into and say, if we tidy up this and this, the game will change for us. They've probably just got to meet West Coast's level of energy and intensity. And that's been the difference in the game. They're fortunate in a way, the Crows, that West Coast haven't been a little bit tidier and a little bit more efficient on some of those turnovers. So Thilthorpe's got to get some looks. He hasn't really had a great look at the game thus far. Fogarty's got to assert himself on the game, and the same needs to be said for Isaac Rankin.
Okay, that is Josh Jenkins' thoughts for Lumo Energy, 100% Australian owned, as we start the second half here, and Dan Curtin is in the middle, which is what Josh Jenkins wanted, and he's going to get the first disposal of the second half.
Finally.
It's a handball off to Jones, who's out in the action, so the Crows have activated the sub. His handball was knocked down, and now there's an Adelaide free kick off the ball.
Get to that.
It's going
sub.
the Crows' way to Rankin.
That's interesting. Now, I don't know. Hopefully there's no injury. That feels like, I reckon, Matthew Nix has said, bang, tactical, let's go, make a change.
Rankin will kick it inside 50, through hands. Neil Bullen deep in the pocket, goes to the outside of his boot, bounces it to the line. And it's Marek getting back late to knock it through for a rush behind, the first score of the second half, a rush behind to the Crows.
It's worse than that. James Peatling subbed out with an injury, so I'll try and get to the bottom of the injury, but that's not good news for the Crows.
McCarthy runs into the field of play for the Eagles, runs a long way without bouncing it. That's always allowed. Up towards nearly to the wing. Flynn knocks it cleverly into the path of Kelly. Rankin holds by one arm, so it forced Kelly to rush a kick to half forward. Miller did well to trap the bouncing ball. Handball's to Laird. Handball's back to Miller. That was a poor handball. It's now loose at the 50. Keane scoops up a handball. There are all sorts of pressure here, Adelaide. They've coughed it up. Shanahan's going to tumble it home for a goal.
Oh, boy.
It's Davis, in fact. Davis has kicked the goal. It was all happening so quickly. And Davis has kicked what is his first goal in AFL football.
Well done to him.
And the Eagles get the perfect start to the second half. Miller's handball was shocking.
Panic.
It was. And then Keane's handball was shocking.
Yep.
And then Worrell knocked it into the path of Davis. And it was one of those balls you always knew was going to bounce to the right. And it did bounce to the right a couple of times. And Davis kicking the goal.
Nothing but panic there from the Crows. Miller's handball. Now, I'll give Miller some benefit of the doubt. It felt he just handballed to a voice, and that voice was already under pressure. But Keane's handball was a terrible one. Worrell panicked. You're always told in D50, don't tap it. Grab the ball, take the pressure. And I tell you what, if we weren't nervous at halftime, we're getting more nervous by the second.
Flynn grabs it out of the ruck for the Eagles, up to half forward. Ryan couldn't mark it, but was able to get a scroungy kick inside 50. Now the next kick into the pocket. Shanahan will mark it.
This is something, Whitey.
And
this
now
is
they've got to
developing.
contend with the crowd, Adelaide. This is a big thing here. When the Eagles were a dominant force, the crowd had such an impact on games, and now they are right behind their team. Cripps was knocked down as he got his kick away, and it might even be a head clash, although he's looking at his arm, as Shanahan from out in the left forward pocket has a chance for the perfect start to the second half for the Eagles, and he's done it. He's got a third goal, and the Eagles lead by 17 points. What is going on? West Coast 8-4-52, Adelaide 5-5-35, early stages of the third term on the Revo Fitness Smash Your Goals with Revo Fitness scoreboard.
And I need to get a look at that replay because Rory Laird might be nervous about that clash with Cripps. He wasn't really trying to smother the ball. He didn't necessarily lay a bump, but he didn't tackle, so he'll be answerable to that. Cripps wasn't far away from having a snap, and it was a fortuitous kick in the end. Shanahan just landed, or was able to get where the ball was about to land, and it was a nice finish from him. He's been the difference in the game in the forward half of the ground. I mentioned Nick Murray. He's had the 3 goals kicked on him, and the Crows have just got to come to play because at halftime you're not nervous, are we? Down by a goal, so be it. Now you're in a hole.
Dawson for the Crows gets the clearance. The flat kick into the 50. Philthorpe can't hold on. Burgess there. Philthorpe came up with it, got knocked high. No free kick. Jimby for the Eagles working last line of defence. They can thread a handball out to Chesser, who just runs it over the line, and the umpire says that's okay, and Philthorpe is hurt, lying on the ground on his back.
We're about to go from bad to really bad because he's in a bad way.
And Matthew Nix, we've just seen a shot of him in the coach's box.
Oh, he's hurt his neck. So we don't want to speculate, but he's been bumped down the front, and he's feeling no good in the back of his neck. So he's getting to his feet. Maybe a nerve, like a nerve.
Well, he's getting to
issue.
You're right, Josh. He's getting to his feet, and he's trying to run off unassisted, but he's holding his left shoulder.
He wasn't hit anywhere near his left shoulder, so that's
like a nerve thing.
Yeah. Whether he's just been sort of hit in a position, and it's just sort of frayed one of his nerves, and he's got a bit of nerve soreness on that left side because he was in immense pain. Now he's feeling for the top of his left shoulder. So Adelaide have gone from pain to painful.
Yes, they have indeed, and that is a big moment for Budget Car Rental. Get on the road fast to call 13 27 27.
Even the guys on the bench are just looking across like, don't tell me we're going to have to do this without our best player.
Ball thrown up in Adelaide's attacking zone. Chesser got a handball to Hewitt, kicking down the line under pressure. Davis gets a handball to Kelly, who's running and kicking forward of centre. Cumming got a bad bounce. Ryan came in late, at least created a contest. Marrick then with a big tackle neutralises things to get a throw-up inside the centre square. West Coast half of the ground.
Yeah, it's definitely a neck issue for Philthorpe. Dr. Mark Cesana is there just sort of doing some tests on his neck. So that's one they just don't take chances with.
A kick inside 50 for the Eagles. Archer Reid overruns the football. Real problems for Bond. Did okay. Got a handball out to Laird, who fortunately finds Saligo. I don't think that was necessarily intended. Saligo out very wide to O'Brien, who gives the handball to Neil Bullen running past. Chipping ball. Good ball. The mark taken by Burgess.
They're going to need this guy now. Fogarty's the other one who's just got to take the game over, but they just got to get some inside 50 play there. And another one that Fogarty gets hands to, can't quite mark.
Yeah.
He's just having that type of season.
Burgess kicked it up in the Fogarty direction, but Jimby was able to come over the top and get the spoil in. And we have a throw-in 50 around from Adelaide's goal. The Eagles by 17 points, 18th versus 1st.
Doing all sorts of tests with Thilthorpe and his arm and his neck.
Dawson, a handball out to Laird, confronted, has to retreat with a handball to Bond. He's in trouble as well. Tackle to the ground, gets a handball away to Saligo on the bounce. Saligo running the boundary, kicking deep inside 50. Jimby with a spoil, Chesser with a crumb, handballs to Baker, feigns the handball and kicks with a driving ball forward of halfway. Shanahan's got two Adelaide Crows players after it. Worrell, good tackle from Shanahan, great work from Shanahan. Support comes, and then a big tackle from Cripps. This is inspiring play from the Eagles. Murray thought he was away, and he got tackled to the ground and the ball spit out of bounds for a throw-in.
Well, you've just got to give great credit to the Eagles. Shanahan's 1 against 2. Now, it's a difficult ball for Worrell to pick up, but just stays on the chase, effectively wins 50 metres of field position without even touching the ball. So, and Rankin is around the footy, and that had to happen.
Laird, a handball to Rankin, swings a kick around the body, back towards the wing position. They fight for it. Baker somehow gets a handball away, but it goes straight to the Crows. Taylor, short kick into Fogarty, who's at halfway.
Just got to let some of the forwards reset. So he's gone sideways, because when you're the deepest forward and you come up and mark the ball, you've got to know there's no other forwards ahead. So good work by Fogarty. Important to get the ball in the hands of Rankin as well. I think they should be openly looking to get the ball in his hands.
So Rankin's got the footy and he's chipped it short to Berry. The Eagles by 17 points, 15 to play in the third term. Rankin short to Dawson, so the prime move is getting involved. Dawson, a high kick into the 50. O'Brien can't mark. Saligo front and centre. Snapping ball is home. Gee, they needed that.
Needed.
Goal to Saligo. Adelaide get back within 11 points. West Coast 8-4-52. Adelaide 6-5-41 on the Revo Fitness scoreboard. Smash your goals with Revo Fitness.
It was good work. Just a little bit of composed ball use, some uncontested marks, take a little bit of the crowd heat out of the game, and they got a great aerial contest from Cumming and O'Brien as effectively the forwards jumping at the footy inside 50. Nice deep entry, and Saligo, right spot, right time. He's having a good game. His numbers are just on the rise. 14 disposals for Saligo. He kicks that goal for Lodex Equipment Hire. Led up to 17, most on the ground.
Josh Jenkins for Lumo Energy, 100% Australian owned.
Looks like Thilthorpe's.
He might be okay.
Oh, I don't know. It's an interesting one because it's such an area of you don't know.
No, and he's such an important player. You don't want to take any risk on any player, but particularly probably Thilthorpe. Back in the middle, O'Brien winning the tap down to Berry. Handballs to Rankin, who runs away from Hewitt. Chipping ball, not sure of it.
Ball.
No, Marek has got there first for the Eagles. Handball missed the target. Ball loose. Rankin goes in again. Slaps it to the 50. Comes out to Cumming now. Scrubs a ball inside 50 for the Crows. It's all under pressure. Good work from Hewitt. Scooped up a ball with a handball to Chinby. Now out to Marek. Gets met well by Cumming. Ball spits out West Coast way to Baker. Good kick down the line. The Eagles have the footy. They're at left half back with Brockman.
He's been good, Brockman. I've liked his energy in the game. Nice outlet. That's what the half forwards have got to do, relieve the pressure with those outlet marks. But it was a good intercept mark from Keane.
Yeah, he was third in line there, Josh, and he took the mark for the Crows.
He's very, very good. A lot of the best defenders are. He just edges his opponent under
he
the
told to play on. Ryan came from behind and missed the tackle.
He had him.
He had him cold. Now it's with the Crows through Bond. He's kick smothered. Still Adelaide with a footy. Kick up towards half forward. Massive pack of players. O'Brien gets the handball out to Taylor. Kicking into the 50. Going back with the float. Saligo got there on the second bounce. Jenkins tackles into the ground. And it is a slim tackle.
He didn't need to do it.
Free kick to the Crows.
It didn't need to do it. It was the action that always represents. It was actually the action that the umpire would make to be representative of a dangerous tackle. He didn't need to do it because he just needed to fall to ground. He didn't need to lift him. Perhaps he was too strong in that moment, but it was unnecessary because he had him cold.
Saligo opens the angle with a left foot. Goes right off the side of the boot to the hot spot rather than towards the goal. Hall takes possession of the footy. He's tackled. Ball bobbles around. The umpire will come in and throw it up.
You can't miss the goals by any more than that.
11 points, West Coast lead. 13 to play in the third term. Throw it quickly. Dawson's hovering. Berry got a handball in the Dawson direction. Dawson forced to tackle because Hall got there first. It'll be a throw up.
This is what they need. This is, and the Crows doctor's still testing Thilthorpe. He'd want to be doing every single test possible, but it looks like he's going to be coming back on the ground.
Which is amazing considering what it looked like initially. The Eagles clear, but straight onto the chest of Laird of the Crows. Centre wing interchange gate side of Optus Stadium. Little floating ball. It'll work. Rankin marks against Kelly.
Like this. Don't leave him to starve in the forward line. He's getting involved in the game. It'll get better and better the more he's involved.
He kicks inside 50. Fogarty meeting the sandwich, forced to spore rather than trying to take the mark. Baker there on hands and knees. Hewitt got a handball to Hall, to Brockman, now to Jimby. Jimby flares it out to the left back flank towards Duggan, who marks and kicks on to Marriott. The Eagles' still energy is up. They're not scoring. They can't get it outside their half of the ground at the moment, but their energy is still noticeable. The Crows still very much on the back foot. Marrick's kick, forward of the wing. Adelaide, two defenders spoil each other. Hinge a handball out to Murray, to Berry. Berry's handball is okay. Taylor again, scoops it up with a handball to Bond. Confronted, tackled, holding the ball. Free kick West Coast to Cole.
Again, just stay on the chase. Adelaide were almost off and gone, and the West Coast teams we've seen.
Now Cole's told to play on. Took too long. Cumming tackles him, holding the footy. Free kick Adelaide now.
This has been one of their issues. They've been able to turn Adelaide over, and then they've given it straight back. So just took too long to make a decision. All of a sudden, Cumming, who was aware in that moment, running down.
Isaac Cumming between wing and half forward right. Eagles by 11 points halfway through the third term. The kick into the 50, not a great kick, but the mark was dropped by Bazzo of the Eagles. Fogarty has it. He's tackled by Jimby, and we'll have a throw up inside 50 for the Crows. 52 West Coast, 41 Adelaide. Phil Thorpe doing some handballing drills on the boundary. He wants to come back on.
Yeah, and they want to see him do everything before they let him out there.
Eagles clear, out towards the wing position, through the hands of Shanahan, who kicks it straight to Murray. Murray for the Crows, tackled as he kicks. It goes off the side of the boot in the Rankin direction, but it bounces away from him. And out of bounds for a throw-in between wing and half forward right for the Crows.
Corked quad for Peatling, so hopefully that's all it is. You can occasionally get a knock that's so bad you can't play the rest of the game, so hopefully that's the case for him and not something more sinister. But they've already used the sub, so Thilthorpe will be more than needed out there on the field.
Kelly with a clearance for the Eagles. Kicks a rush footy to the middle of Perth Stadium. They fight for it. Comes up the Eagles' way. Dave has a handball to Brockman. Brockman handballs it out. Here they go again. Baker, front part of the square. He's kicking into the pocket. Cripps takes the bouncing footy. Snap towards goal into the square. Shanahan dropped it. Running back with a flight. It's still with Shanahan. And he gets it out of play as Keane tried to tackle. A throw in deep in the left forward pocket for the Eagles, who lead by 11 points. 10 to play in the third term.
Only half a metre away from Shanahan taking another mark close to goal. That would have been a certain goal. So this is a budget car rental big moment here. Adelaide have got to get back in this game in terms of the pressure levels.
Flynn down to Hewitt through his hands. Miller got a handball out to Dawson. Clearing ball. It's going close to the boundary. Stays in the field of play, which is good for the Eagles. Jinby back to the 50 with the kick. No mark taken. McCarthy front and centre. Handballs it under pressure. Rankin clever with the knockdown towards Saligo. Goes with a check side into the middle. Not great. It's Ryan for the Eagles playing behind the footy. Back into the 50 with a kick. Juggling mark to Keane. He would have been paid the mark, but he decided to play on. Handballs to O'Brien. They're back into the defensive goal square here. Worrell for the Crows. High clearing ball. Strong mark in front to Taylor.
Yeah, crucial.
Very good in front from the young man and the small man to be able to take that mark, and then the presence of mind to flare it wider to the captain. Dawson chips on to Jones at halfway.
This is where they've been falling down. They haven't been able to get anything from, they're 90 metres from goal. They've been under pressure going inside 50. That ball doesn't even make it.
No, and West Coast had the advantage in the air 2-on-1. They've got the footy. Ryan's handball running the boundaries. Cole, who gets tackled to the ground. It'll be thrown in. Curtin with a good tackle.
This is going to go the distance, this game. You can just sense it. You can feel it. West Coast are going to be able to bring this level of energy throughout. They've got the spirit of the crowd behind them and the big fella Thilthorpe back into the game, so that's great to see for everyone.
And straight into the ruck, so good early fitness test. Kelly with a clearance for the Eagles, left foot kick, tumbling ball back forward to the wing, and it bounces out of play. That's a good result for the Eagles. The ball to be thrown in, even though Keane wanted the free kick for insufficient intent.
So big period of play here. You feel like if Adelaide can just re-establish control of the game, get this close enough to even by three-quarter time, the class should prevail. But West Coast, they're just making nothing easy.
Rankin gets tackled, got tackled high. Free kick against Cole. I reckon Cole's had about 6 free kicks against him today. Rankin to take the free kick is smarting from that contact. It was a clear free kick.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't afford to lose him.
So Isaac Rankin from the wing, kicking to the 50 at half forward. Chindy over the top, couldn't take the mark, and unfortunately Neil Bullen runs out of room. Out of bounds.
Another shallow entry that doesn't quite make it inside 50. So Adelaide often talk about the bridge kick or that connection kick. They haven't had that at all today. They've just been too willing to kick the ball between 40 and 60 from goal.
From the throw-in, Thilthorpe, a quick kick into the 50, gets knocked down, away from Berry. Baker, that's a throw. It's against Baker. Advantage paid to Rankin. Got tackled. Handballs it to Hinge. He gets tackled at the 50. It'll be a throw-up. Rankin saying, why did you give me the advantage? Well, you took the advantage, Isaac.
Yeah, you certainly took the advantage. I've been critical of that rule in the past couple of weeks, but he took advantage. But get him around the ball. It's obvious that he comes to life when he's around the ball.
Thilthorpe gets tackled. He gets tackled to the ground by, look at the 4 Eagles players. It's emblematic of how they're playing at the moment.
They have got Liam Ryan behind the ball, the Eagles, so that's interesting. Just at this point, they're keen to try and stabilise and not give up a goal.
Duggan got tackled. Another brilliant moment for Zach Taylor. He took a terrific mark 5 minutes ago in defence. Now he's got a shot at goal with a rundown tackle of the West Coast co-captain. That is a big moment for Budget Car Rental. And now he has a chance to get Adelaide within 5 points. He's only 20 metres from goal.
Great tackle. You'd love Duggan to be a bit stronger there, the co-captain. He's the standout captain at the moment, the standalone skipper. But Taylor, it was a great tackle. Needs to make the most of his opportunities for his sake and for his team.
Zach Taylor on his way, just left of centre. Will actually have to kick it 35 metres. The Adelaide cheer squad behind the goals, watching closely and now cheering. Big moment from the young man, and he stands up and delivers. West Coast 8-4-52, Adelaide 7-5-47, 7 to play in the third term on the Revo Fitness scoreboard. Smash your goals with Revo Fitness. It's just $9.69 per week, and we have a game on our hands. Crow Nation for OTR that has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7.
And it's a goal that is not from a traditional score source. A rundown tackle inside 50. You like to get a couple of those every now and again, but the Crows have been so impotent inside 50. The big forwards haven't been involved in the game, and game sort of revealed itself to be a pressure game, so you'd imagine the Crows are going to need to rely on those types of ways to score. It's not necessarily the way the best teams want to score, but sometimes you just got to do enough to get the job done. So they're back in the game.
Crows with the last two, back in the middle. O'Brien winning it down to Dawson. Got a kick away as he was tackled, went no distance. Berry, he gets tackled off the footy. Hall, wonderful handball out to McCarthy. He gets tackled holding the football. And guess what? It's that man again.
He's a good tackler, isn't he?
Zach Taylor.
Good tackler, really building a reputation for himself as a pressure player inside 50, keeping a Lockie Murphy and others out of the team.
Taylor out wide to Dawson, flat kick into the 50. Over the top curtain with the spoiled Pedlar's kick smothered brilliantly by Hoff, out of bounds for a throw-in. 30 metres around from Adelaide's goal. The Eagles by 5 points, 6 to play in the third term. Crow Nation for OTR.
Just established or re-established a bit of field position here, the Crows. Some centre bounce wins and just some repeat stoppages inside 50 as Matt Owies comes in as the sub for West Coast.
Saligo squeezes a kick forward. Taylor again. Handball's out. Fogarty got tackled. Gets a handball. This could be put the Crows in front. They do. And it's Pedlar on his right foot. Pedlar now has 3 goals. And the Crows by a point. 6 to play in the third. Adelaide 8-5-53. West Coast 8-4-52. That's now 3 in a row for the Crows on the Ruvo Fitness scoreboard. And over to you, West Coast. What have you got?
Yeah, good handball from Fogarty. Didn't panic under the tackle. I have seen those 360 tackles paid as holding the ball, but he was in control of that situation, so I'm glad they didn't pay it. Found Pedlar, and it was a good finish from him. Been an interesting player. He's had some injury issues, high draft pick, pressure forward, who has done some defensive roles on opposition interceptors. Got taken to town by Tom Stewart one night, which was a difficult night for him, but he's got a bit to offer this forward line. He can take a mark, particularly in a game where they might sub one of the tall forwards out of the game. He can be that pseudo tall forward. So nice finish from him, and guarantees him a game next week by kicking 3.
That's right. Josh Jenkins for Lumo Energy, 100% Australian owned. Back in the middle with the Crows, finally in front, but only by a point. Rankin got dispossessed. No free kick. Eagles fans and players not happy. Instead, it's a throw-up. Even Isaac's got a smile on his face.
Yeah,
a bit happy about a bit lucky with that one.
On-ball mix. It's Dawson, Curtin and Rankin. You got some speed in Rankin and some size in the other two.
Taylor gets tackled. He's in everything for the Crows. Rankin there for a moment. Laird got a handball to Hinge. Hinge got some space. Drives the ball deep into the 50. Phil. He's fine. No problems with Riley. Stretching back with 2 Eagles defenders right next to him. Backing back and taking a very, very important mark.
Yeah, great mark. First real fast look at the footy he's had. The only time he's been targeted inside 50, he's had 2 or 3 Eagles hanging off him. Pedlar and his opponent was in the area, but just too big for Jinby, and it was a great mark. Has to finish.
Riley Philthorpe straight in front, 20 metres out, 4 in a row to Adelaide. And the Crows out by 7 points. 20 minutes ago, the Crows were just hanging in there. And now the West Coast Eagles are the team under pressure and very much against the odds, with it 18th versus first. Riley Philthorpe's first goal of the afternoon. It came with just 5 minutes remaining before three-quarter time. The driving ball from Hinge. And once they got that one-on-one situation or 2-on-2, it was always going to be dangerous for the Eagles.
Yeah, they haven't been able to threaten with kicks to the top of the goal square much at all today. They've been too willing to kick the ball short and also to the top of the 50, where it's easy to defend and hard to defend against. So that's a rare kick to the top of the goal square. So it's a good period of footy here for the Crows. Still 5 minutes to go, so still some opportunity.
Kelly getting a handball out to Hewitt. Wide handball to Marrick. The West Coast Eagles to go forward. Marrick with a bounce. Runs to 60. Kicks to full forward. Right up there. Thought he got pushed. No free kick. He did get pushed.
Yeah, paid.
Free kick to Liam Ryan in the goal square.
It was always going to be touch and go, but he was in front, playing as the traditional forwards do, and there was just enough body contact to see him pay the free kick. So this would be a really, he should kick the goal, which would be a really handy settler.
So the infringement, Josh, just outside the goal square. So he's put on a slight angle, but still
shouldn't matter.
From 15 metres, should put the Eagles back within a point, and he does. His second, a goal in the second, a goal in the third. And the Eagles just needed to arrest a little bit of momentum back their way, and they've done that 4 minutes before three-quarter time. Adelaide 9-5-59, West Coast 9-4-58, Pronation for OTR. They have all your coffee needs sorted 24/7, and find your next Hyundai at Stillwell Hyundai Wayville.
Yeah, well, OTR on the run, that's exactly what Marek was doing there, and Liam Ryan was assisted in the push. He certainly jumped and was more than happy to be shifted to the side, but it was the right call. The push in a marking contest, didn't come back to the ball at all, so right decision in the end, and a really nice and handy settler for the Eagles just to get it back to 1 point. In terms of some of the Lodix equipment higher numbers, Laird up to 19, Dawson up to 19 with that goal, Saligo also 18 and a goal. Isaac Rankins had 7 in the quarter.
Back in the middle we go again with another good bounce. Flynn winning the tap down for the Eagles. Kelly gets there first. Tackle from O'Brien. Graham a handball to Hewitt. Hewitt for the Eagles. Kick into the 50. Good defensive mark taken for the Crows. And they can just settle things down with a short pass into Rankin. Hinge was the one with the intercept mark. And now the wide kick to Bond, who chips in short to Hinge, who has it again. Darting ball just inside the field of play for Cumming, next to the interchange gates. The Crows by a point. Coronation for Hyundai at Stillwell Hyundai Wayville. Coming down the line with the kick. Defensive mark taken by Flynn against O'Brien.
He's been good, Flynn. I've liked his game. O'Brien's struggled. Again, another one of those kicks. Wrong part of the ground to kick the footy to. You've got to try and find one more uncontested mark.
Flynn back to the wing, but that's where O'Brien, his direct opponent, is. He can spike the ball out of bounds for a throw, which isn't a bad situation for the Eagles. Andrew McQualter coaching from the bench in this third term, which has got 3.5 minutes remaining. Adelaide by a point. Late afternoon sunshine and Optus Stadium as the ball gets thrown in. Flynn wins it to the front. Rankin for the Crows onto the loose footy. Runs around, chipping ball out wide, works to Cumming. He pumps a handball to Dawson. Dawson's trusty left foot up towards full forward. Oh, Jigby!
What a mark.
Massive mark! That is one of the best things I've ever seen him do. That was a special mark from a player that had high hopes to build their future around. He kicks out to half-back. It bounces away from Campbell Chester and out for a boundary throw-in, but that was a mark of the day for McGain Real Estate.
It was a great contested mark. He's got great size. He often plays undersized, but if he could play on the medium-type forwards, he'd be able to use his size to advantage and his strength and his ability to stay in a contest. That was a beautiful mark in defensive 50.
O'Brien taps it down. Rankin into the corridor. Low down, not quite getting to Burgess on the full, and the Eagles come up with the footy. Marek getting a handball out to Duggan on his non-preferred foot. That works. Now they're away and running through Cole. Handballs to Marek. Takes the bounce. Gets to halfway. Handball to Hill. Look out. He was good. Getting the handball back to Cole. Up to Ryan. This is the West Coast Eagles of 5 years ago. Ryan marks at the 50.
He's got it in him. He's got this in him. Only just. He'll have to kick it as well as he can, but the speed of hand, he's got some blood in the eye, Liam Ryan as well. He's been off for treatment a bit earlier.
He's got a shiner, hasn't he, on his left eye?
Yeah, he's got the fat eye and he's got a bit of blood in that eye, so he'll be a bit sore tomorrow, but he'll be less sore if he can kick his third and give the Eagles back the lead.
Right half forward from 51 metres. Liam Ryan jumps into it, kicks it pure, puts the Eagles back in front with his third. Just when it looked like it was getting away from the Eagles, they go bang, bang. West Coast 10-4-64. Adelaide 9-5-59. 2 to play in the third term. We've got a great game on our hands. Crow Nation for OTR and also for Hyundai at Stillwell Hyundai Wakefield.
Yeah, I've loved his game. He's been behind the ball, protecting them and stopping scores against. And he's kicking goals, 11 disposals, taken half a dozen marks, kicked his 3 goals. So he's had a big impact in the game, as big as anyone else involved in the game. Shanahan's got the 3 goals as well, and Pedlar's got 3 for the Crows. So this is a game where West Coast have got no designs on giving up and rolling over and getting beaten by 5+ goals. They're here to do a job. They're here. This is probably their only best opportunity to win another game for the season.
Flynn taps it down to Graham, overruns the football. Rankin got tackled, lost it. O'Brien in there, Soccer's off the ground, Adelaide's way. Hoff gets there first for the Eagles. Handball missed Baker. Thilthorpe came through. Handballs to Keys, front part of the square. It's an open goal square. Won't get that far. Eagles can mop up deep in defence. Short kicking to Marrick, who marks and gets knocked down by Keys. It could be 50 here. It doesn't look like it's going to be. Keys has got a corky out of it. No 50, but Marrick with the ball for the Eagles with 90 seconds to play before three-quarter time.
He saw as well. It's a bit unlucky it was paid a mark because the Eagles were off with advantage, but of course you can't take advantage from a mark.
Marrick sort of affected by that collision with the kick. It went in shallow. Rankin for the Crows. Back into the 50. Thilthorpe! Strong mark in front of Jimby. And unfortunately there for the Eagles, Marrick couldn't compete in that contest. The ball was very close to where he was.
Yeah, well, he's probably, they're unlucky he couldn't, but he's lucky that he couldn't because he would have had 2 corkies if he had have gone back in front of Thilthorpe there. He was charging out of the ball. He would have knocked him for 6. So great hands again. Just opportunities for Rankin involved in the game. He's their difference maker.
30 seconds before three-quarter time. Thilthorpe from 45 to give the Crows the lead. He's not doing it. It's missing to the left. West Coast by 4.
Hasn't been his cleanest quarter, but Rankin's had a dozen in the quarter. Like
game changer.
It shouldn't take them this long to work that out. You know, late in the first quarter, midway through the second, okay, Isaac's not getting opportunities. Get him around the ball.
Graham drives the ball to the wing. Flynn marks for the West Coast Eagles. They know how long's left. He's putting up his hand and saying, boys, settle down. Settle down. We're not going fast. I'm not kicking into the corridor. I'm just going to kick it down the line and listen to the siren sound. Three-quarter time here at Optus Stadium in Perth, and the crowd are on their feet. The West Coast Eagles lead by 4 points at three-quarter time. The team on the bottom are leading the team on the top. The Crows, who want that top 2 spot, they need to lift as we go into the final term after the break. Don't go anywhere.
That quarter on Crows Nation was for Revo Fitness. Smash your goals with Revo Fitness. 24/7 access to all locations from $9.69 per week.
Land Cruiser Prado Altitude didn't win 4x4 Magazine's 4x4 of the Year award by playing clean. It earned it in the dirt. With refined suspension and multi-terrain select monitor, it was built for all-round performance. So you can take on more.
This Land Cruiser drives
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Sustained performance in footy is more than just one great game. It's about playing consistently, game after game, season after season. Host Plus has delivered strong performance over the long term with top returns over 20 years. A top performing super fund over the long term? That's a plus. Based on super ratings data as at April 2025. Consider the PDS and TMD at hostplus.com.au before deciding if Host Plus is appropriate for you. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance. Search Compare Host Plus today.
A GJ Gardner home is crafted with all the details that make a house feel truly yours. Like natural hardwood floors that stand the test of time, high, raked ceilings that elevate your space, and seamless indoor-outdoor flow that brings nature in. A GJ Gardner home feels as good as it looks with joy in every detail. Shape a new home around you with GJ Gardner Homes Adelaide. Feel the joy building.
After a new work ute, the 100% electric Ford F-150 Lightning 4x4 has arrived at Sustainable Vehicle Solutions, your South Australian electric vehicle specialist. With a range of 500 Ks, a 4.5-tonne towing capacity and 1,000 Newton metres of torque, the F-150 Lightning is built to withstand the toughest conditions in Australia. Experience it for yourself. Book a test drive today at sustainablevehicles.com.au.
One weekend, 2 leagues, everything basketball and culture. Hoops Fest is coming back to Perth. The ultimate celebration of basketball is back in WA for the 2nd straight year. Don't miss blockbuster Hungry Jacks, NBL and WNBL matchups across 4 unforgettable days. Hoops Fest, the ultimate fusion of sport, culture, music and entertainment. January 15 to 18, 2026 in Perth. Pre-register for tickets now at hoopsfest.com.au.
An Australian-owned energy company that supports South Australian small businesses, the arts and local communities. We're Lumo Energy South Australia. Join today for a brighter SA. Lumo Energy SA not available in all areas. Eligibility criteria and conditions apply.
Footy fans, this is the one you don't want to miss. Join me, Luke Darcy, and for the first time as co-host, the highly respected and much-loved AFL presenter Sarah Jones at the EJ Whitten Grand Final Legends Lunch, Thursday 25th of September at the Melbourne Convention Centre, with vital funds being raised for prostate cancer research and care. It's a brilliant afternoon, great food, fantastic company, and finals fever at its best. Tickets are on sale now. Head to ruralprostatecancer.org.au. Get in quick, tables are selling fast.
Score a screamer of a deal at BWS. Get a case of Hahn Super Dry Lager 3.5% bottles for $52. Hurry, offer ends today. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise.
Shot, Georgie.
Stay on him, Ashy.
Well done, Georgie.
Come on, Ashy.
Get him,
Go,
Georgie.
Ashy.
Go
Go, Ashy. Ashy. Go faster. Go, girl.
Jeez. You know what's more competitive than those two? Hyundai's offers across a wide range of new and demonstrator models like the Dynamic Tucson. From $39,990 drive away, it's game on at your participating Hyundai dealer today. T's and C's and exclusions at hyundai.com.au.
You're listening to Crows Nation.
For Hyundai, find your next Hyundai at Wavell Hyundai.
And OTR. OTR has all your coffee needs sorted 24/7.
Rankin short to Dawson, so the prime move is getting involved. Dawson, a high kick into the 50. O'Brien can't mark Saligo front and centre. Snapping ball is home. For West Coast, Saligo squeezes a kick forward. Taylor again. Handball's out. Fogarty got tackled. Gets a handball. This could be put the Coes in front. They do. Drives the ball deep in the 50. Fell for.
Just too big for Jimmy, and it was a great mark, has to finish.
Wiley Philpott straight in front, 20 metres out, 4-0 to Adelaide. So that was certainly the highlights of the Adelaide Crows in that term, but clearly punctuated by those 4 goals in a row. To go from being in real trouble to being in front, the problem is the Eagles with that late goal to Liam Ryan lead by 4 points at three-quarter time. Crow Nation for OTR. Don't forget they have all the coffee needs sorted 24/7. And also at Stillwell Hyundai Wayville, Adam White and Josh Jenkins. Who's going to win, Josh?
Well, I think the Crows will find a way, but tell you what, I'm a lot less confident than I was at the start of the game. I can give you the tip.
Yes. So we start the final term here at Optus Stadium in Perth. O'Brien winning the tap down. Kelly, though, with the initial handball to McCarthy. He gets away from Curtin, runs his full measure and kicks inside 50. Great defensive work there from Keane. Samo gets a kick away, but Baker marks inside the centre square for the Eagles.
First goal for the Eagles would be massive, wouldn't it? Just to give them a little bit more life and breathing space. I mean, seeing the scoreboard as it is would give them excitement as it is.
Inside 50, it's a West Coast Eagles mark.
It is too, yeah.
Kelly.
Maybe there was a nudge there, but hasn't he come back to life? He was nowhere, playing in the waffle, playing half forward, getting the ball only a dozen times, and he's sprung back to life late in the season. This will be possession number 20. He's laid 5 tackles, and this will hopefully, for the Eagles' sake, be a big boosting goal.
Yes, ever since he's gone back into the midfield, he's looked the player that he was a few years ago. In he comes, 25 out. Oh, it's a very flat kick, but it's straight.
That'll do.
He turns to the crowd and says, well, you wanted a goal, didn't you? It wasn't certainly by design, but he's got full points, and the Eagles, with the first goal of the final term, lead by 10 points, 11-4-70 to 9-6-60.
Yeah, it was far from his finest. The mark was certainly a lot better than the kick, but it was a pretty well identified one-on-one from Liam Baker. Kelly was calling for the footy. Baker identified it. It was Chase Jones who, I tell you what, he's right on the cusp. He was a sub today. Not a great moment defensively there against Tim Kelly, who's just simply not known for taking contested marks inside forward 50. So he looks at the crowd and says, oh, well, what do you want? It doesn't say how, it says how many.
Exactly right. The Eagles by 10 points back in the middle. Coronation for OTR and Hyundai. Rankin gets the footy. Handballs to O'Brien. Standing start kick. Tumbles out towards forward 50. Socket off the ground the Eagles' way once and then twice. The second time by Owies. Back out to the wing. Cripps, clever tap on. That was well done to Davis. Handballs it on. And now the tackles come. Curtin applying a big one. And it will be thrown up between wing and half forward right for the Eagles.
Winning obviously covers over a lot of cracks, and there are a lot of cracks in this performance. But Adelaide have if you look at the way Adelaide have played and the individuals, a lot of their better players have played okay. Fogarty hasn't done much, but a lot of their better players have actually played okay. They've just played down to the level and really succumbed to the pressure in this game.
Rankin gets the clearance. Jimby dropped the mark on, bounced off his chest. He is first to recover, then he slipped over. Burgess with the tackle. Now another tackle from Keys. That comes on Brock. The umpire letting it go. Still in the field of play for Hoff. Now it goes out. The teams didn't play for the whistle there. Both the Eagles and Crows stopped.
Yeah,
the umpire had to say, no, it still goes.
The Crows were hoping that he was going to sort of deliberately fall over the boundary line, so they were playing for that, and in the end he didn't. Then eventually the ball went out of bounds. Darcy Fogarty's the one. He's got to impact this game in this last quarter. It might only be 2 opportunities, but he's got to make them count.
60 metres out, the ball gets thrown in, it goes back out of bounds.
Just having
Same
a
spot.
Look at his numbers in the game. He's had a couple of score involvements, but only 8 disposals, kicked one behind. Maybe his confidence has been knocked from that easy miss in the first quarter, but he's just got to get up and going. He's in the leadership group. He's one of the important players for this club.
Goes back towards the boundary. Rankin keeps it in. 40 metres out. Running the boundary. Going with a hero shot. Missing to the left. Wasn't too far away from Isaac. 9 points the Eagles lead. 17.5 to play. It's on the Revo Fitness scoreboard. Smash your goals with the Revo Fitness.
Looks pretty obvious to us, doesn't it, with Rankin now. 3 disposals at halftime. 17 to this point in the game for Lodex. Equipment either. Might be 50. No, it's not. But start him in the middle and then drift him forward. Don't allow him to start forward and be not involved in the game. That's the way. There's a couple of Crows.
Yeah, 2 Crows players collide. Curtin and also Keane.
They look like they're both going to be okay. Keane's a tough hombre too, so just copped.
The kick came into Shanahan, and both Adelaide Crows defenders stopping Shanahan collide with each other.
He's a magnet for 2 defenders, Shanahan, isn't he?
Hewitt trying to get a handball away. The tackle came from Laird, and the ball will be thrown up. Between wing and half forward left for the Crows, who trail by 9 points, 17 to play. Dawson getting a bad bounce. Kelly knocks it away from the congestion. Keys gets there first. Handballs to Dawson. Handball's back to Rankin, another disposal. Kicking to the 50. Thilthorpe was there, couldn't mark. Oh, he's front and centre for the Eagles. Swings it back towards halfback, but straight to O'Brien, who can chip in board to the corridor to Millerer. Miller's dinky kick, don't like it. Goes over Fogarty's head. Saligo handballs back to Fogarty. Has a fumble. Chesser went with the hip and shoulder when he should have tackled. And Fogarty kicks the goal as a result. Chesser couldn't knock him over with the hip and shoulder. Fogarty controlled the ball, stayed on his feet, and kicked the left foot snap goal to get the Crows back within 3 points.
So there's the moment. I asked for him to stand up in one or two big moments, and he does it. The handball just missed him. He was able to ride that bump, as you called, and finish beautifully. He doesn't quite have the left foot Tex Walker does, but he does have a really, really competent left foot. And that was a nice finish running at full speed. It hasn't been his day, but that's the beauty of playing in the role he does. As a key forward, you only need 15 minutes in the last quarter to have a massive impact in the game, and he's already had some impact with his first goal. He's 37th for the season. Now he needs to do more.
That was a big moment for Budget Car Rental. Get on the road faster, call 132727. But I have a feeling there'll be a few more big moments for Budget Car Rental in the last 20 minutes. A bad bounce that will be recalled. A bounce straight over the umpire's head.
Are you happy to get rid of the bounce? What's your take on it?
No, I like the bounce.
You do?
Yep. I like the bounce. The football is shaped like this for it to be unpredictable. That's what the football...
Do you like it recalled?
No, it should just be play on. Anyway, Kelly, he emerges with a footy for the Eagles. Kicking to the 50. Keane dropped the mark he should have taken really for the Crows. Bond under pressure. They jump on top of him. It'll be thrown up. The football, this isn't really the time to be talking about this, but the football is shaped the way it is for it to be unpredictable.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the bounce, and wherever it goes is where it goes.
That's why the ball is the way it is. And that's why the game's different to other games. Laird, a handball out. Now it's coming for the Crows towards the wing. Clears the initial contest. Thilthorpe paddles the ball in front of himself. Cole with the pressure and Jinby. Thilthorpe tried to get a kick away. Couldn't do so. Holding the ball. Cole with a free kick. He's given plenty away. Now he's got one. Chips it inboard. This will work for Hall, but he didn't play on. The fans wanted him to. He holds up. He goes backwards. Again, the fans didn't like that either.
No.
Bazzo takes the mark, spreads it to the open side, which is the outer side of the ground.
Gee, they've got shorts available. They've just gone into their shell here just momentarily, the Eagles. This should have been close enough to inside 50.
Hoff goes forward to the wing. Curtin destroys the contest. Hall in there for the Eagles. Burying hard there as well as Laird, and it will be thrown up on the wing. West Coast by 3 points. We're still cooking for the upset of the year.
Oh, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be the upset of the year?
Flynn taps it down to Kelly. Got tackled by Berry. Dawson gets tackled. Ball spits out. Laird for the Crows. Defensive wing to forward wing. 40-metre ball. There's a whistle. There's a free kick going West Coast way. Hoff said, is it for me? Is it for me? Yes, it is.
Just a bit nervy with ball in hand now. West Coast all of a sudden perhaps are realising how close they are to a big upset win. They've just got to stay brave with some of their ball use.
Hewitt's handball for the Eagles wasn't great. Although Hinge's handball got knocked down. Curtin under pressure. Tackled by Grove. It has to be a sling tackle. Had to be a sling tackle. It's called insufficient intent.
Yeah, well, it had to be one. If it wasn't going to be a sling tackle, it had to be insufficient intent. I mean, he's unlucky because he's being sort of thrown and slung in a tackle, and it ends up going out of bounds. So a big win for West Coast there.
That was more of a sling tackle than the other one that was paid. Hewitt for the Eagles kicks into the 50. Up they fly, down they come. West Coast chance here. Left foot snap out of the pack, goes across the face and through from behind from Hall. Eagles lead 4 points, 14 to play in the final term on the Rebo Fitness scoreboard.
Pressure's back for them. So again, Adelaide, you've got to stare down the pressure. Pressure at 232 for West Coast to start this last quarter, which is gigantic.
Worrell goes into the middle. Baker drops the mark as he jumps into his opponent. Still a West Coast footy. Cole from 55 goes wide, wants Marrick. He got it off hands, deep into the pocket with a handball to Ryan. Handball out in front of himself. And then it didn't bounce back to him, which was a bit of a setback. It went out of bounds for a throw-in, about 20 metres around from the Eagles' goal, but they've parked it inside 50 again.
And Marrick's almost done with that quad knock. He's playing as a key forward, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off the ground. They have used their sub in Owies.
Ball thrown in. Kelly at the front of the pack. Takes the ball. Gives the handball. Kick, swings back into full forward. Oh, that was a spoil from Cummy. He could have taken the mark, but he's knocked it through for a rush behind instead. West Coast lead 5 points. Keen quick reload into Cumming. Coming along, kick to the interchange gate wing. Fogarty going up, couldn't mark. Jimby with a spoil. Then the handball to Kelly. Confronted, has to retreat. Tried to get the handball back to Jimby. There's a free kick.
Got done
free
for
kick
a throw.
to Adelaide.
Yeah, got done for a throw. Darcy Fogarty should have done better in that marking contest. Great work from Jimby to get it to ground, but Fogarty's the big key forward who should have done a better job.
So Dawson with the free kick on the wing. Kicks a driving ball into the 50. Phil Thorpe there in the pack. Also was Taylor was there as well. Taylor picked up the ball. Somehow got a handball to Neil Bullen. High kick into the pockets. No mark to Burgess. It's gone out of bounds for a throw-in. 25 around from Adelaide's goal. The Crows trail by 5 points. Coronation for OTR and for Hyundai.
It's going to be a long, tense last quarter, this one. We've only travelled a few minutes, still 13 minutes remaining. It feels like we've already played deep into this last quarter, so both teams really going to have to stick to their guns, and you wonder if the young Eagles can stick at it for long enough.
Hewitt got a handball out to Hoff, got tackled to the ground, then Cripps came in for support. He can't pick up the footy inside the boundary. Another throw-in.
You do feel like if West Coast are to win, Kelly's going to have a big last quarter. Baker's going to need a big last quarter. Some moments from Jack Graham as well to help them be steady in these big moments.
Ball thrown in. It's a shallow throw in. There's a whistle, a free kick, or is it going to... No, the umpire's saying throw it in again.
Which is unfair on the boundary umpire because these ruckmen are too far back.
Correct. We agree with too much. I was just about to say exactly that.
We're either both right or we're both wrong.
No, they're way too far back. They're starting this even here near the centre square. Phil Thorpe wins it to the front. Berry gets well tackled. Strong tackle by Davis. And we'll have a throw up. Umpire throws it up quickly. Hall for the Eagles. Breaks the Rankin tackle. On his left, kicks back to the wing. Backing back, showing real courage for the Crows was Bond. Couldn't mark. Ball still goes Adelaide's way. Tumbling football. Dawson tried to slap it on. McCarthy for the Eagles. Gets past 3. Gets past 4. Takes a bounce, McCarthy, and then has the composure to kick to Ryan. He kicks into the middle to Kelly. He didn't mark. Phil Thorpe comes up with the ball. Handballs it out to Fogarty. Now to Taylor, front part of the square, kicks to a reasonably open forward line. Burgess has 2 to beat, can't do so. Cole got the handball out to Bazzo. Bazzo for the Eagles, last line of defence up towards Ryan, who marks, but there's a whistle. There is a whistle. It's coming all the way back to full back. It is still a West Coast ball. No idea.
Why is it coming back?
No idea.
What on earth? Because Liam Ryan had taken the mark at half back. The play had not stopped. That is bizarre.
So, again, we have Bazzo taking the kick. Keen, good mark for the Crows in a pack of 4.
And how costly, because Liam Ryan took the mark in exactly this position. So
with no one around him.
It would be fantastic to know why that was called back. That was beyond belief.
Keen to Hinge in the corridor. Hinge back into the pocket, gets the back. Taylor, can he control it? He can, near the scoreline, gets tackled by 2 Eagles. Well done. We'll have a throw up right next to the scoreline between the behind post and the goal post.
Yeah, you've got to be careful here if you're the Eagles ruck in Archer Reid. Don't knock it over on the full.
Phil Thorpe taps it back to Keys. Kick smothered. The Eagles have really been inspiring here.
Yeah, they have.
Their pressure rating's still up at 230. That's elite level.
Yeah, win or lose, this has been their best performance this year. Even the win over St Kilda, this has been a better performance against better opposition. So well done to the Eagles. But I tell you what, there's still a victory right there for the taking.
Throw in. Taylor for the Crows. Handballs out to Cumming. Back to full forward. Kick shallow. And Hall. Hasn't he been good for the Eagles? Slides in and marks on his knees.
Sneed, a guy like Saligo hasn't been seen in this last quarter. Rankin's been busy in the second half. Walked around on the mark. Needs Saligo and Berry to get going around the footy.
Hall back towards the wing. Gets to the back. Worrell for the Crows. Feeds an inboard handball to Hinge. Handballs on to Dawson. Takes a bounce at halfway. Just inside the centre square to centre half forward. Eagles marked to Hoff. Juggled it. Marked it.
And can go.
Now to Flynn. Now the next kick in the Ryan direction. Got hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark. At the drop. Keen for the Crows. Handballs on to O'Brien under pressure. Got the handball to Cumming on the bounce. Cumming swings a kick towards half forward. On the bounce there to Keys. Jimby with a tackle. West Coast with the footy again. Short ball into Chesser. He was told not 15, so handballs it on to McCarthy under pressure. In fact, it's Brock under pressure, and the ball will be thrown up on the wing.
As good as they've been, West Coast, they're not quite seasoned and polished enough to make Adelaide pay for the turnovers they create, but equally they've defended really staunchly behind the ball.
Saligo gets tackled by two Eagles players over the line. Hewitt and Graham, and it's holding the ball.
Great pressure. It's been there all game.
Who gets the free kick? Graham gets the free kick. The former Tiger premiership player in front of the interchange gates. Launches a long ball towards the 50. Up they go. Nearly a mark. Not completed to Reid. Wanted it. Said no, the umpire. Knocked on by Rankin into the path of Saligo. Takes a bounce. Nearly at halfway. Goes in short to Fogarty. West Coast by 5 points. Halfway through the final term.
This is the one where they've got to try and get closer before they enter the 50. They've kicked it from this position, sort of half forward or the wing, inside 50, and it's gone shallow too often, so they're going to try and go around and go in.
Yep, they have. Laird started the process. Now it's out to Worrell on the other wing, the outer wing. Worrell's long driving ball into the 50. Jimby again with a spoil. Taylor, though, shrugs the tackle. Chipping ball back inside towards full forward. Good spoil away from Rankin. Eagles with the footy. Up to Marrick, who takes the mark outside defensive 50.
It almost feels like a next goal wins type scenario. Still so far from home. 8.5 minutes from home, but the pressure has been such that both teams are cooked. Both teams are physically worn out already. So a goal to the Eagles is mammoth. A goal to the Crows, you feel like their class will be able to shine.
Marrick up to Cripps. Cripps towards half forward. Adelaide win it at ground level. Laird with the initial handball to get it running. Saligo from halfway into an open forward line. Bazzo will get back there first for the Eagles to mop up. Waited for it to bounce. Then clears back towards the outer side of the ground. Cole up, couldn't mark. Curtin with the spoil. Crumbs to the Crows to Rankin. He takes it out, Isaac. He runs to 45 and he drives it home for a goal. That is what the superstars do. That is what Isaac Rankin does. Adelaide in front by a point, courtesy of the magician Isaac Rankin. Adelaide 11-7-73, West Coast 11-6-72. We have a thriller to finish the round on a Sunday night. And we've got a superstar whose second half has been nothing short of breathless.
Yeah, it's been a big second half. 17 disposals, in fact 18 disposals and a goal in this second half from him. Laird's been big with 23. Zach Taylor, what a game. Best game he's played. 20 disposals, some key tackles. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. He's been instrumental in others. But it's still right there. It's a 1-point ball game just because Adelaide have hit the front. The Eagles have not laid down all day. They're not about to start now.
8 to play. The Crows by a point from the restart. Hewitt almost throws it out inside the centre square as he was tackled. And the ball will be thrown up again. At halfway with Adelaide leading by a point, trying to stay a game clear of everybody else on top of the ladder. Socket of the ground by Neil Bullen. West Coast emerge with the footy. McCarthy a handball to Duggan. Duggan on his trusty left. Kicks it almost to half forward. Keane! Good mark. Great defensive mark for the Crows. He'll chip it to the wing. He's found a player loose, which is Neil Bullen. No one on the mark. Plays on, gets to the 50, gets to Phil Thorpe. At right half forward, he'll take his absolute best kick from here. Has he got the distance in him?
He does. He does. It's difficult from here because if you want to pinch distance, then you've got to run and give yourself less look at the goals. So he's missed a couple today that he should have kicked. He's got this in him, but it'd take his absolute best in a big moment.
Riley Philthorpe at right half forward. Can he land the bomb?
Hello.
Can he land it? Of course he can! Riley Philthorpe, with so much on the line, kicks his second goal from outside 50 to give Adelaide a 7-point lead with 6.5 minutes to play. First Rankin, now Philthorpe. The Crows, have they done enough? Or have the Eagles got just that little bit more to say?
Archie Reid would just love that contest again. In fact, it was Sandy Brock. Didn't take any body. Philthorpe might have been able to take the mark anyway, but if he had been able to body spoil, perhaps he makes that spoil on the footy, but that's his 50th goal. What a season from the big fella, and what a moment to kick your 50th goal. 6.5 minutes remaining. It just finally gives Adelaide a little bit of breathing space. Finally, their 5-goal lead feels like days ago.
It does. Back in the middle we go. Another perfect bounce. O'Brien winning the tap down for the Crows. Hall gets there first. Handball gets knocked down. Goes again. Dawson came off the side of the square to apply pressure on Kelly to lock it up for a throw up inside the centre square. Adelaide by 7 points on the Revo Fitness scoreboard. Smash your goals with Revo Fitness. O'Brien knocking it down. Saligo under the pack. Spits out Adelaide's way to Rankin. He's well tackled. Ball jars out. Comes out West Coast way. Now to Duggan. Shrugs the tackle. Duggan draws an opponent and handballs to Brockman. Handballs further on to Kelly. Kelly on his left. Inside 50 for the Eagles, but a good mark to Worrell.
Big intercept mark. At a key moment. So opportunities now just to take, you're not trying to kill the game, you're not trying to end the game here, but opportunities just to take 45 seconds to a minute or so off the clock. If the Eagles can't man up, keep taking some of these uncontested marks. The Crows have already been able to take 40 to 50 seconds off the clock and get field position.
So Laird's gone to Cumming. Cummings kicked to the wing and it's a mark to Dawson. So Dawson decides to go long and wide. Good option, backing back Burgess just inside 50 at right half forward, about 2 or 3 metres in from the boundary. Saw Phil Thorpe kick a goal from a similar spot, the angle not quite as significant.
Hasn't had much impact in the game, only 6 disposals, so it certainly build some trust with the selection committee if he can bang this one home.
Burgess out to the left, won't be a goal, falls a bit short as well. Phil Thorpe juggles marks.
No.
Or has he?
Nah,
oh,
touch.
It's been called touch. Sorry, Crows fans.
Yeah, and I reckon
he claimed
it.
He claimed the mark. The umpire said no. Instead, it's a throw-up situation just outside the goal square. They fight for the footy. Suck it off the ground by Keys. Back into traffic. Phil Thorpe gets it this time. Oh, he's got it. Riley stands up in the big moment again and might have just done enough to keep the Crows on top of the ladder. There were 10, 12 players around the footy in the goal square. But it was Riley Philthorpe, the biggest of them all, that had the biggest say of all.
Well, he was denied the mark when he shouldn't have been. That ball's gone through his hands and bobbled off his chest, back into his chest. Wasn't paid, would not be denied at ground level. Just stayed alive. He's got great dexterity for a big fella. Picks it up off the ground and as quick as a flash puts it on his left boot. Bodies and arms and hands all around. and never had a chance to look at the goals. He knew it was in the goal square, so that's a pretty good head start, but great finish from him. He's been the difference in this last quarter. Some big marks, and I'll tell you what, it's lucky they put him through all those tests, because if they didn't and he didn't play, they wouldn't have won.
Yes, he was taken from the ground with an issue with his neck or his shoulder, but he's had a big say in this. In the middle, Saligo with a clearance for the Crows. The mark was dropped initially by Taylor, but he's still got enough time to kick it onto the leading chest of Burgess. And the Crows might have done enough here. 13 points up with 4 minutes to play on the Revo Fitness scoreboard.
Yeah, now that the game looks like it's done as a result, you just feel a bit of the air and certainly the energy from the crowd go out of it. So credit to the Eagles, but this is what we expected. We expected Adelaide to be too strong, potentially stronger, but they might win this one running away.
Chris Burgess, left half forward, 40 out, leans back on it. He has missed to the left. It is a behind only. 14 points. So the Eagles have got to score 3 goals minimum
it's going to be
3.5 minutes. McCarthy has the responsibility to kick the ball back into play. He runs into the field of play himself and then goes short to Baker. Liam Baker for the Eagles.
Got to go. Got to be willing to give up a goal to get a goal here.
Oh, it's dangerous, but it works. Hoff marks, handballs onto Jinby. Chiseling little kick. That'll work as well. Now the long kick towards the forward 50. Oh, Laird, defensive mark. Everyone flew except Laird, who was just waiting at the back, and it fell into his hands.
Yeah, he's played a good game, Rory Laird. Possession number 25, this will be.
Chipping ball works to Rankin.
Where does Rankin start next week? Where does he start next week?
Well, if he starts outside the centre square, Matthew Nicks may as well not turn up.
Beyond belief.
Rankin to the wing. Up they go. And Flynn, who's been good for the Eagles.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's a great contested mark. He's right up there in terms of contested marks per game. That's not a great kick.
Dangerous kick to a contest. Burgess read it well. Spoils. Kicks it off the ground towards the goal square. He's still running back. He's still running back. He sockles off the ground and he misses Burgess. Great effort. But it's only a behind, but it's 15 points now. The Adelaide lead with 2.5 to play. The Eagles go as quickly as they can. Out to the outer side of the ground, and the marks completed by Cripps. On the wing, near the boundary. Goes inboard to Duggan, who has to immediately play on. Running to a wall of Crows. He's forced a handball. Wanted Baker. Missed him. Out of bounds for a throw-in. 87-72 on the Revo Fitness scoreboard. Smash your goals with Revo Fitness for just $9.69 per week. Adelaide by 15. It looks like they're going to hold on.
It is, and as we mentioned, this win probably all but guarantees the top 2 finish. So they come here to do a job, and they've just done enough to do it.
Up towards half forward go the Crows. It's gone to the back. Advantage paid to the Eagles. So a free kick. Jinby has it at half back. Flares it wide out towards the wing. It works okay for Davis. He got there on the bounce. Tried to get a handball away back to Jinby. Philthorpe got there first. He's paddling it towards the boundary. He wants the sanctuary of the boundary. He gets the sanctuary of the boundary. It will be thrown in. 15 points Adelaide's lead. 1 minute and 3/4 to go.
Some hair and some locks between Philthorpe and Jinby. Jinby's got the blonde mullet. Philthorpe's got the gigantic beard. They're both prodigious talents.
Lots of hair. Curtin for the Crows. Up towards Philthorpe. Can't mark, but he created a contest, as Josh says. Ball loose, 55 out from the Adelaide goal. Duggan got there first. Socket off the ground by Chesser into the middle. Laird farms out some sort of handball. Baker was there. He lost it. Chesser goes again. Baker again gets to his feet. Handballs to McCarthy. Now it comes out towards Kelly, who goes low down, and the mark's completed by Hewitt. Wants to handball onto the runner coming past, which was Duggan. Duggan's kick. Oh, Cripps bounced off his chest. Didn't complete the mark, but he's still able to recover. Centre it up. Laird dropped the mark he should have taken. Then tackles Brockman without the ball. Free kick going the way of the Eagles.
Well, it was a bit messy. You've got to get up and get going. Cripps should have taken the mark on the lead. His kick was pretty good. Laird got back and almost intercepted the ball and gave away a free kick. in the process. So this has just got to go through. Can't afford to waste any time.
So Brockman isn't wasting the time. From 30 metres out, just left of centre, splits the middle and gets West Coast back within 9 points, but there is only 37 seconds remaining.
All right, so it's got to be perfect from here. Probably more perfect than what we saw from Brisbane to make a late charge in their game yesterday. But it's been a sensational effort across the game from the Eagles. I think it's been the best performance they've put in all season long, despite the fact they do have a win to their name. And for Adelaide, a great litmus test, a great sign of maturity, and a game where you might say, oh, well, they did what they should have done, but these games can often get away from you and get big on you when the opposition team's got to run, particularly on the road. They've been able to look that in the eye and get the job done.
Bounce back in the middle with 37 seconds remaining. Flynn winning the tap. Hewitt charged in against Berry. Umpire says play on. Rankin for the Crows. High kick. Sitting underneath it will be Duggan, who marks and plays on quickly. Flares it out to the interchange gate side of the ground. Stretching and marking the ball is McCarthy, who's been amazing. Inboard handball to Jinby. Driving ball inside for the Eagles. No mark taken. Brockman there. Gets a handball out. Led with a tackle. Jones goes in there. He gets tackled to the ground, and there'll be a throw up inside 50 for the Eagles, who trail by 9 points. Seconds remaining.
Yeah, not many seconds.
The umpire trying to work out who's going up in the ruck. He throws the ball up. Down it comes. O'Brien with the spoil, and the Crows win. They got the shock of their lives, Adelaide. But they are now officially one game clear on top of the AFL ladder with only weeks remaining in the season. By 9 points, it's official. They sit pretty on top of the AFL ladder with 64 premiership points, 4 more than anybody else. And it was a big shock, but they found a way, as Josh Jenkins said, to just tumble over the line, 87-78 in the West. And it's utter devastation for the West Coast Eagles. They put absolutely everything into it. Andrew McQualter sitting on the bench, a forlorn figure. But he has to be proud of the way the Eagles players fought it out to the end. But in the end, it was Thilthorpe, it was Rankin, it was Laird. Their senior players, their star players, got them over the line in the end. Josh Jenkins, your initial thoughts for Lumo Energy, 100% Australian owned.
Yeah, well, I didn't arrive here expecting at Optus Stadium to see one of the games of the season, and certainly at least one of the games of the round, and one of the games of the past couple of months. We've been littered with games where the top 9 and the bottom 9 have been blowouts. The top 9 have just been dismantling the bottom 9 teams, and we did see Sydney yesterday get the job done against the top 9 team in Brisbane, but no one really sees the Swans as one of those bottom feeder teams, whereas the Eagles, they've been at times deplorable this season. So to see them put up a performance like this probably hurts their chances at some assistance from the AFL that they've been seeking, because it shows when they bring great effort and great energy and they rely on some of these young players, they look quite good. But in the end, the Crows came here ultimately with one job, and that was to get the 4 points and all but secure themselves a top 2 finish. So they are so close to a home qualifying final, it's not funny. So thank heavens that the Duggan bump on Thilthorpe didn't end up in a concussion, because it could have. And I think Duggan might have a case to answer in that one. Fortunately, the result was okay for Thilthorpe and for the Crows, because it is as simple as this. If he doesn't return to the field, they don't win.
Yeah, I agree with that. And he is very lucky that he wasn't concussed. He was very lucky that he wasn't badly hurt with a neck or a shoulder injury for himself, but obviously for the Crows, because he came and kicked 3 goals after that, coming back onto the field. And it did feel, usually you get that feeling, Josh, that the better team, based on ladder positions, would prevail, even though it was an away fixture for the Crows. But tonight, it felt like they were up against it for whatever reason. And I wonder whether other teams go to work as to what it was the Eagles did that rattled the Crows. But it's not like Adelaide had 4 or 5 of their key players missing. But they couldn't get the game on their terms from start to finish, really.
Yeah, I really want to think about this game on the way home, because Adelaide only really left Tex Walker out of this lineup. Everyone else was there. That's right. Now, subconsciously, did they play down to the level? But if you have a look at the individuals, a lot of their better players played fairly well or had impacts in the game. We spoke about Laird, a veteran, returning. Dawson has 26, 14 tackles and a goal. Can't ask for much more than that. I don't know if it was his most impactful game, but numbers-wise, you can't ask for much more. I just think there's so much more upside in Rankin if you play him around the ball more often. Yep. He ends up with great numbers. 23 disposals, 4 tackles, 6 clearances and a goal. But he did it all in the second half. He did almost all of that in the second half. Soligo was solid, 22 and a goal. Loved the game of Taylor. I thought Cumming was solid. If you're looking for players who didn't have much of an impact in the game, Chase Jones didn't have a great second half as a sub, only 2 disposals, got outmarked by Tim Kelly. So his place in the team is probably up for grabs. Curtin didn't have an impact in the game, only 8 disposals, played some midfield in the second half. Keys was relatively quiet. Pedlar's heavily relying on hitting the scoreboard, did today, only had the 8 disposals. Peatling's got that knock, so that's going to be interesting to follow up. And then Darcy Fogarty should have had a better game, should have had more impact in the contest, considering the opportunities and the matchup. Only 11 disposals and 1 goal won. So it's going to be a game where they'll have to really go in depth and work out why it took 3.5 quarters to win this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. You do need some time to look at it all and probably need to watch the replay just to determine exactly.
Are they looking ahead to Collingwood, maybe?
I don't know. And, they've dodged a massive bullet by winning, as Fremantle did against Port Adelaide, as the Bulldogs did as well. But they found a way to win. Brisbane was the one that
and you've got to dodge the bullet. Error. Brisbane couldn't dodge it.
Do it.
Now they're
in all sorts of trouble now. I don't know what to make of it as well, because I must confess, I came here today thinking Adelaide would win by a big margin.
How far?
And I also thought that they would be far too good for Collingwood. But if Collingwood bring that sort of pressure that the West Coast Eagles did with it, I'm not saying it's the way you beat them, but Collingwood will be looking at that very interestingly, thinking if we can bring that sort of 220, 230 pressure, this is what happens as a result.
Absolutely.
All right, we're only on air for another 5 minutes. Hopefully we'll get the song from In the Rooms. But while we wait for that, the best defender for Murray Pest Control play pests at their own game with the team from Murray's.
Josh Worrell, some big intercept marks, 15 disposals and 7 marks in the game. He continues to push his case for All Australian.
You'll hear the crowd. That's for Liam Duggan, who's been chaired off the field in his 200th match by Oscar Allen, which is great to see, and also Jamie Cripps. The big moment today for Budget Car Rental on the road faster. Call 132727. In fact, we'll get to that after the song here from the Crows. They've got into their rooms quickly. Adelaide by 9 points, 87-78. The big moment for Budget Car Rentals. Get on the road faster. Call 132727.
I thought it was Isaac Rankin's goal just to separate the bounce and the finish. That was classy.
Who has been a hot or cold player today for Panasonic Air Conditioning? Panasonic Comfort Cloud. Set your air conditioning from your phone.
Well, the epitome, Rankin, 3 disposals in the first half, 20 and a goal in the second half, so he was both.
I think that's a perfect perfect nomination. The mark of the day for McGain Real Estate, sold by McGain again.
Ruben Jinby in defence, that big contested
that was a good
mark, that big
that was a
intercept
really
mark.
good mark.
Yep.
Power play rankings for Red Energy switched to 100% Australian-owned Lumo Energy.
Thanks to the tackling, Dawson got up to 147.
Did he really?
Yeah, big day. Rankin 107. O'Brien 103. Thought he was probably beaten in the ruck, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
And Laird 100. So only 4 players over 100 today.
The player of the match for Here for the Game. Don't let betting spoil sport. Here for the Game.
Difficult day to work out who the best player on the ground was. I love the game of Tom McCarthy, but if we're looking at it from an Adelaide perspective, it is probably hard to go past the big fella who separated the game in the second half, particularly in the last quarter. Riley Thilthorpe, 15 disposals, spent plenty of time off the ground, had 12 hit-outs, so chopped out in the ruck and did his part, kicking 3 goals too. So he can probably be the player of the game. Apologies to Dawson, McCarthy, Laird, and I thought Tim Kelly was back to his best today as well.
Matthew Nix, we can see from our monitor here in our commentary position having a very long chat to Jordan Dawson.
I'm never in love with that.
No,
I'd rather it's too soon to try and break down the game and talk about what do you reckon we weren't in sync? What do you reckon we weren't up for it? Like, I think you should still, in these moments in particular, go out of your way to make sure it still feels like a win. I hated the games where, and when you're playing in a good team, it's fortunate, but it's also risky because when you're playing games that you're expected to win by a lot and you don't win by a lot, you can make them feel like losses, and they've got to travel home on the plane 4 hours back to Adelaide. You don't want this game to feel like a loss. You've still won the game. You've still done enough right now. Those guys are getting together straight away. Now, it might be harmless. It might be 5 minutes and then they move on, but it's interesting to see it straight away.
You know the other thing too about that sort of thing, and I know they're in the rooms and they probably don't even know that there are cameras there, but I don't like seeing that on camera. Like it's like in a cricket sense when the coach or the chairman of selectors is talking to a player out on the field. You go, why would you be doing that at training? Do it in a hotel room or do it where no one can see.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that's the vision that a lot of people see during the week. It's like, what went wrong? You know, and you read into it more than what is there. All that sort of thing. Do that behind closed doors. We don't need to be seeing that. As good as it is for the fan.
Yeah,
but it does show that. I mean, it might not show anything. They might be talking about what they're ordering for dinner, but it does feel like it's Matthew Nix saying to Jordan, look, what's your initial thoughts there, mate? I don't understand, what happened today. That's kind of what it looks like to me anyway.
Yeah. And I was just a big one for make your wins feel like wins.
Yep. And there's a bit to be celebrated out of that from Adelaide. It shows the maturity from previous years. I don't think they would have won that last year or even the year before. That they found a way. That's what good teams do.
A lot of teams wouldn't have won that, and that's credit to the Eagles. So we didn't expect much coming here, but I tell you what, we got more than we bargained for.
We did indeed. Josh, thank you so much for being part of it. Love doing the footy with you.
Likewise.
It was a game we didn't expect, but it was. It's so good when the star players rise when you want them to, and that's what Isaac Rankin certainly did today, and Riley Thilthorpe. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage of Crow Nation footy. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Adelaide fans.
Still a bit shocked, but
you wake up tomorrow morning as a winner and on top of the AFL ladder. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you again soon.